Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the party. My name is Don. Thank you for joining us here on A Storm Over Eastmarch, our one-shot series for the next couple of weeks before we return to A Storm of Four for the next season of our streaming go show. Before we begin tonight, of course, as always, we would like to give a huge shout out to our sponsors. It's a huge thanks to Tabletop Loot, our amazing dice sponsor. Provide us a fine dice for all of your gaming needs. Head on over to tabletoploot.com. Use the code WTTPDICE to get 15% off of your next purchase. Now, Maddie and his amazing merch shop are the sole provider of Welcome to the Party merch, so head on over to sonerdwear.com. Use the code WELCOME at checkout to get 10% off of your next purchase. So Nerdwear, it's what the nerds wear. Now, Welcome to the Party is proudly sponsored by Roll20, the virtual tabletop that runs straight out of your web browser. Everything you need to play with your friends is ready at the click of a mouse, from click-to-roll character sheets to built-in video and voice chat. You can even upload your own maps and tokens. Get all of that and more with a free basic account on roll20.net. Sign up now, roll20.net/start/WTTP. Finally, Welcome to the Party is proudly supported by Devin Rue, who has provided huge support to the community ever since we've launched. For some of the best cartographical content on the web, go ahead and check out rooteinc.com. Now, our Patreon not only goes to support the channel, it goes to support the amazing people who support it. Your generosity allows us to keep working on our mission to platform amazing LGBTQ+ and BIPOC players and creators. So come and check us out on patreon.com/welcomepartyrpg. And as always, come and join us on our amazing Discord, where you can chat with myself, all of my wonderful players, and plenty of other folks who would love to talk to you and play some games. With that all out of the way, let's go ahead and introduce our crew for tonight. A one-shot D&D 5th edition series done in a Westmarches style, except we are the Eastmarch because I have to be different. We will go ahead and start our introductions with Temsy.
Hello everybody, I am Capcheck, or at Captain J Cross on the Twitters, and tonight I will be playing the one, the only, Yanti Summoner Temsy.
Mittens.
Hello, my name is Leona. You can find me on Twitter at Leona Maple, and I am playing Mittens, our Storm Cleric. Meow.
Carl Dandleton.
Oh, good evening, yes. Tonight I will be playing Carl Dandleton, who is a Aarakocra wizard.
Ratspear.
Muted.
My first time on stream. What's up, everybody? I am the Chris Herzog on all social media, Judah Killer here on Twitch.
And tonight I am playing Ratspear No Fun Goblin Wizard.
And last but certainly not least is Micah.
Hi, I'm Micah, your favorite basic bitch human fighter. That's that.
Riveting.
I thought she was basic. I don't know what you want from me.
Stole all the hearts of our community.
I mean, this is more than I expected. So from the whole group.
Okay.
Hey, whoa!
I'm sorry. It's been a long. It's been a long
I
day.
came here to have a good time.
And
I'm feeling so attacked right now.
You brought a Yanti summoner to a 5th edition party. I mean,
You know what? I'm rolling initiative. I feel so attacked.
Oh, really? Before we get into that, our story tonight brings us to the Eastmarch, a far-flung frontier overseas colony of a burgeoning republic that is slowly expanding and settling over this area that they have mostly found deserted, with some fey ruins and stuff hinting at previous civilizations that may have once existed here. The Republic has faced many, many problems ever since they have settled in the Eastmarch, slowly branching out from their established capital of Milopolis. In order to help with these difficulties, an adventuring league called the Voyagers Guild has been established, who are essentially troubleshooters, problem solvers, diplomats, warriors, escorts, everything that the citizenry here and others could possibly need in order to avert problems, defeat monsters, and generally make life easier. all of our player characters are indeed members of the Voyagers Guild, and taking these contracts for coin, for fortune, for glory, for whatever it is that suits their sensibilities. As we go into the guild chapter house, we find our 5 brave heroes for tonight. And what exactly are our 5 brave heroes doing in the chapter house in between their adventures? Who would like to go first as a small little introduction for your character?
Sure. Dempsey is playing cards, as always. If there's a game of chance, they're gambling at it.
Indeed, there is a game of Three Dragon Ante with several other members of Guild going on right now. You see a rather smug Goliath who keeps grinning at you over their cards, believing that they have you beat at this point.
Yeah. You know, you could ante up. I will be doing that. So, what's your play?
The Goliath thinks for a moment, taps their cards 3 times on the table, and then takes the entirety of their silver and copper and pushes it forward across the wood.
You're sure you want to do this? All right. Shoves their stack as well.
Why don't you go ahead and make me a roll? Do you have proficiency in playing cards?
Oh god, yes.
Oh god, yes. Let's. Are you like trying to bluff with this, or do you actually have a good hand and you're just trying to psych out your opponent?
Oh no, definitely have a good hand, but
Definitely have
don't
a good
want
hand?
them to know that, basically.
Okay, I'll say let's make it a proficient
Well,
in either
better-
intelligence.
I know that I have a better hand than them currently.
Okay, let's call it a proficient either intelligence or wisdom check then.
Cool. That's gonna be a. So I just have my bonus to it, right?
Your bonus and it's proficient
Okay.
because you're proficient in the cards. So whatever your
Right.
proficiency bonus is.
That is 21.
21.
There's a bunch of math.
That's okay. The tension lingers for a moment as the Goliath slowly lays down a pretty decent hand. It looks like they've managed to pull off a straight. And as they're reaching over for the coins, that is when you reveal your own.
A good attempt, but not quite good enough. Showing a 2-card higher straight. Ouch.
The Goliath is stunned for a brief moment, stares at you with steely eyes over the table before suddenly just pounding the roll wood and standing up and shoving off without a word, as everyone else around the table gives a small little golf clap for a round well played.
There's a bit of noise in the rafters. That's it.
Okay. Who is next?
Go.
So, Ratspear is sitting on. I'm assuming there's a bearskin rug in front of the fire in the guild.
There absolutely is a bearskin rug in front of the
So,
fire.
He's rather close to the fire, sitting down on the floor with his legs crossed, with a book open on his lap, and about 5 or 6 other books just sitting around him, and he's just reading his books. He studies things of the arcane, but he also likes fantasy novels and tales of heroism and especially of those that dig themselves up from their bootstraps and accomplish great things in their lives. Very, 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 very interested in those types of things.
As you are reading then, the leader of the chapter house, a leopard tabaxi named Anaritos, actually comes by and drops a book down over the top of the one that you're currently reading.
Hey, I was reading that.
My apologies for interrupting, but I figured that this would be certainly within your vested interest.
Oh, yeah? I gotta pull the book open with his little tiny fingers. Those old nails.
The book itself appears to be written in Goblinoid itself, in the script of your people, and even from the first brief lines, you could tell that it is about a small goblin who eventually comes on to embody a prophesized warrior that leads his tribe towards great prosperity.
It's very rare indeed. There's not very many books in Goblin. Thank you.
There-
This is a treasure.
A rather curious author managed to stop by the chapter house in need of some minor help last week. This is what they used to pay for it. It seemed, at the very least, somewhat valuable, all things considered. But I thought it would be far more useful in your own hands.
I appreciate the offer. Thank you very much. I will enjoy it thoroughly.
They nod and saunter off.
I go back to reading.
Who is next?
Carl is in the study. He is sitting on a small, like 2 feet off the ground branch-like stool, and he has got a book in his hands that he is reading through. It looks to be a book about arcane counterspelling in different methodologies.
As you are reading this, a turtle approaches you at one point, holding up a huge collection of like loose leaf parchment and very badly bound with twine stacks of papers. And as he waddles up, he says, "Excuse me, Mr. Dandleton, is it correct?"
One moment. You have my attention, yes.
Yes. I represent the local library. There were several volumes that you had requested that unfortunately we are unable to fulfill. I did manage to gather up, well, and he just kind of lifts the disheveled collection of loose leaf to you.
And what is this supposed to be?
At least the bits and pieces that we were able to get, scrolls and incantations, with those the ability to cast them, of course.
And you checked everywhere for the items.
The things that you're asking for need to come from across the sea. It does take some months.
Well, I suppose this is better than nothing. Thank you for bringing these to me. I will make quick work of them.
As you dig through this loose collection, you see the majority of it is unfortunately quite worthless to you. It's either information that you already knew, is so damaged and old as to be basically illegible, but in the midst of all of it, you do manage to find one that stands out. It's written in a rather brilliantly silvered ink, and it doesn't take your eyes long to decipher that this is a scroll of fireball.
This could be useful. And I'll kind of roll it up and tuck it away.
Who is next?
Micah will have just gotten in from like training. It's she's very Gabrielle from Xena-esque. So she has her weapons, but she usually just trains with a staff. And so she like just walks in, puts the staff up against the wall, and walks to the bar, and just like, drink, please. She's just like, you can tell she's like all sweaty and like worn from training. And
what would Micah's favorite drink be?
A probably like a pale ale with a hint of apple.
It is already waiting for you when you sit down, the dwarven bartender already moving on to the next customer, having prepared the drink after seeing you come in from the courtyard. Settling down next to you was the half-orc that you were training against, gripping at their jaw as you see the bruise on their cheek is already quite swollen by this point. Do you think you could go a little easier next time?
Do you think there are enemies out there that will go easier on you?
There is a difference when you're fighting for your life versus when we're just trying to practice.
Yes, but one can never hesitate while they're training, or otherwise they will hesitate on the field.
I swear my mother would have liked you a lot more.
A lot more than what?
He kind of rolls his eyes and points at his goes, me. Not enough tusk was how she always put it. But you, and he gives you a friendly punch on the arm, you've got long tusks.
You have no idea.
He lifts his own goblet to yours and gives you a cheers in respect for a fellow warrior. And last but not least, Mittens, what are you up to?
Mittens has found a seat in the sun and is sleeping.
And is sleeping.
Yep, nap time.
It is nap time. Okay.
I was so hoping for that. I was like, please let her just be like Puss in Boots licking herself on a windowsill. Like,
phrasing, but yeah.
I said it.
Oh man. Yep, sleeping.
Sleeping. As you are sleeping, Mittens, what are you dreaming about?
Mittens is dreaming about, let's see. They're dreaming about, being in a battle. They're dreaming of, a fantastic battle in which they are, doing their storm clericy business and bringing the wrath of the storm directly onto their enemies and, just enjoying the glory of the moment. So it's a pretty fun dream.
You are roused from said dream by all of a sudden the sound of very excited and irascible yipping and barking, essentially.
Mew?
In front of you is a large gaggle of kobolds.
Oh.
Do you happen to speak Draconic at all?
I do not think so.
Then it's a bunch of them that all appear to be trying to address you all at once. And it just comes across as just a constant series of growls, yips, barks, little rumbles and clicks and purrs. And they don't quite understand that you're not understanding them, but they very clearly want to be heard.
Mittens will kind of look around and go, is there anyone here that speaks kobold? Anyone?
That is hearable by the rest of us?
It is by this point, because it is a large collection of them. Mittens sees that what started as maybe a group of 20 has swollen to a group of about maybe 80. You don't even know where exactly they're coming from.
Help!
I'm out the next hand. These are my winnings. Collect, and then saunter towards the door and kobold mass.
Yes.
Micah's gonna stand up and proceed to just start talking to them, and is just like, why are you all here?
Okay.
What is wrong? Like, she knows there's something up there. Like, there are 80 kobolds aren't just gonna show up out of nowhere. Like, it's like, okay, what's going on? Like, why are you all here?
Viewing them here, you see that there are an assortment of colored kobolds. They come in greens and reds and yellows and oranges. There's quite a few that are a very, very deep red, almost a purplish. And the answer you get back is impossible to decipher because it's 80 kobolds all trying to speak to you at once. It's just everyone saying rhubarb over and over and over, essentially.
Bigger.
Yeah, exactly. Until one finally steps forward and you very quickly find yourself with a sheathed but rather wickedly curved khopesh pointed at your neck from this tiny little kobold who says, "Give it back. You took and now you give it back."
Give what back? And would you put that down?
Not until you give back.
Give back what?
And he like looks flabbergasted and turns back to the rest of the kobolds and begins asking them very hurriedly, "This is the right place, right?" "Oh yes, no, we're absolutely sure it's the right place. We've been looking for this place for many, many days now." But they don't know what it is. "Oh, but it is the right place." And the leader nods and then turns back and says, "Thieves and liars too. You will return it back or that we will be forced to do things."
Timsy turns around. At the liars and thieves, Timsy's like, "Oh." Just sinks back into the
Hides in the shadows.
Like, nope.
Micah's still she's still just gonna be looking at them and be like, what on earth are you talking about?
Finally, flustered, the leader like says, "Fine, if you will play liar, play liar," and like looks back at the rest and then like looks for a translation, but they just kind of shrug helplessly. He turns back and says, "If you will continue to speak falsely, then I suppose you will say that you do not even have our dragon tooth at all."
Dragon tooth.
And the kobolds yip in agreement with the idea of like, "Oh yes, see, there she goes. I'm pretending that she doesn't know what we're talking about."
This is
And
she's gonna switch over to Draconic to flip, and it's just like, there is no dragon tooth here. You are mistaken. None of us have anything here. We are nothing but looks over at Temsy, whatever they are, and trainers and a kitten and nerds. We are not thieves.
the kobolds think for a moment, and then the leader asks, "This is Voyaging Group, yes?"
This is the Voyagers Guild, yes.
And the kobold shakes their head and goes, "No, Voyaging Group."
No, this is Voyagers Guild.
You see him kind of, or you see them kind of stop, and their ears begin to slowly fold. Their tail begins to droop, as if a dog that has realized that they have done something terribly wrong. And turns back, and in Draconic to the rest of their tribe, begins to hastily explain, "I thought you said that this was the Voyaging Group." And they go, "Yes, yes, absolutely, Voyaging Group." Like, but they say it's Voyagers Guild. And you hear like three of them at least chime in with like, "What's the difference?"
Oh, they're bad at branding.
But by this point, Anaratos, the chapter leader, has come over, and between Temzi, Mittens, and Micah is looking around at this group of kobolds on their front door and is asking, "What exactly are they doing?"
They
They
say that they're looking for a dragon tooth.
"A dragon tooth."
From the Voyaging Group.
And even Anaratos' eyebrows furrow very, very deeply. Voyaging Group with it.
Right?
Perhaps we should invite some of them indoors and try and sort this out.
And Michael will flip over to Draconic and be like, at least like 2 leaders. She looks at the one that was pointing his weapon at her, and is just like, "You will do. We need 1 more." And whoever raises their hand, she'll take them in, and she'll just kind of keep translating mostly, and it's just like, follow me. We're going to help you. We will discuss everything that's going on. Like, do not worry. If this is a weird translation issue, we will fix it, but we are here to help.
Okay. The 78 other kobolds at that point essentially all sit down on their behinds and just wait in front of the Voyagers Guild. And you already see passerby just kind of giving the entire circle in front a very wide berth because they don't know what's going on. The two that you bring inside, the one that was speaking to you is a mottled yellow-green, kind of a chartreuse color of their scales, and the other one is an incredibly rich indigo. They appear to be dressed in almost Fey-style trappings. They have very leaf-shaped and styled clothing and jewelry. They carry very, very elaborate wooden items and weapons. The khopesh that was pointed up at you, you notice the handle is more of like a knotted wood than anything that would have been like polished or properly made by the Republic. And gathering everyone together, Anaratos also calls over Mr. Dungeon and Ratspear, believing that something weirdly is afoot, and those two at least have keen intellects that may provide some insights here.
Fine, I close my book. What was all this noise and ruckus? I was having a hard time reading.
Yes.
They-
Why are there 80 kobolds outside?
They think we stole their dragon tooth.
Well, did we?
Not that I can recall.
I did not.
We're also in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Oh, where are they supposed to be?
Voyaging group. Are you familiar?
Are we familiar with the voyaging group?
No, none of you know anything like that. Everyone knows that the only thing even approaching that in the entire area of the Eastmarch is the Voyagers Guild, which is known only as that, nothing else.
Sounds like they've got some bad information.
Well, it sounds like they're bad at translating, if anything.
We're very smart bandits who trade on our name.
Unlikely. But possible.
Could be bad for business.
So, you sit down with the two kobolds, who they themselves kind of like share one chair between them. The chartreuse one introduces themselves as Zurich, and the purple one introduces themselves as Nance.
One more time
That's
on
the
that last one.
Indigos, the knots.
Nance.
Oh, nunts.
Nance.
Like these nuns.
Like the city in France.
Similar, yes.
Oops.
And with both of them sitting there, Zurich begins to explain in common, as best as Zurich can manage, that 2 weeks ago, Voyagers group showed up to Leaf Scout Tribe and said that would help us with problem with lion monster. Very dangerous monster, eats many of our tribe every season. Said that would help, that this is what Voyagers group does, but would need Dragon Tooth in order to stop it, because they knew spells, magics, things that Leaf Scout tribe does not know. But they took Dragon Tooth, and Lion Monster still eats tribe. So we come here because we find that Voyagers group is from this tribe. But now you say you are not the Voyagers group. So who came to our tribe?
What did these things or peoples look like?
And the kobolds kind of look at each other and shrug. And even though you all clearly look very different, they point at you and go, like you.
Like me?
No, like all of you at the table.
Oh,
He's trying to say that not kobold.
At
That
the
doesn't help very much.
at the very least, Nunts is able to point out that out of all of you, they look mostly like Micah, except one who was a smaller Micah or a very Micah-looking rat spear.
Probably you're talking about the halfling.
Halfling, dwarf, one of the two. Probably the
Yes, we're
halfling.
probably looking for 2.5 men.
They said that there was actually a group of 4 of them.
4.5 men.
3.5 men.
3.5.
3.5.
This sequel nobody was waiting for.
The one you never asked for. But it came out anyway.
Coming to NBC.
Straight to VHS.
So, hearing this, Naruto's gets a very grave look across their muzzle as they would say, if people are impersonating us out there, that does not bode well for the guild or for the republics.
Agreed.
Not to mention, we do our best in order to keep the peace between every group out here on the frontier. This could be very damaging.
Agreed.
So there wasn't a mission on the books for a lion creature.
And Naruto actually shrugs and goes, "No, this is the first time I've ever seen these creatures. And normally, from what I hear out here on the frontier, kobolds are quite good at handling the things they need to. They would have no reason to come to us."
Hi.
For a great deal of them are dying.
Hey, I am curious. What is this creature you are speaking of?
Nunts pipes in and says, "Lion beast, very, very big, but has more faces than just lion face.
What kind of faces?
Has and points towards Temsey and says, not quite like this one, but has a tail, like should have." And Nance gets very confused that Temsey does not have a tail.
Mittens has a tail.
Mittens has a tail, but Nance is very clear that it's not that kind of tail.
Oh.
And explains that has the face of a lion beast, has the tail of a venom beast, and has another face of a mountain beast.
Can I make a roll to try and decipher what this creature could be?
Absolutely. You can go
When you-
ahead. It would be either an Arcana or a Nature check.
This
Sure.
mountain beast. Does it have
Oh, no. I guess.
horns?
Oh yes, longhorns. And Nance kind of like touches their own horns in reply and feels slightly ashamed at realizing that their horns are not that long.
Your horns are nice as well.
Nance's tail begins to wag very excitedly.
I got a
It
natural
is okay.
20 for a 27.
You got natural. And Temsey,
Oh,
didn't you
that
roll?
was
I thought
10.
you rolled 10. Okay. Mr. Dandleton, you realize they're absolutely speaking about a chimera.
I believe they are referring to a chimera. Very dangerous.
Bless
Leona got stuck in a hilarious.
Oh.
Oh. Oh no.
What is happening to your face, Leona?
Oh no.
The cat made a kitty face. Oh no.
Did we
Bring her,
leave?
bring her back.
I would
I'm
certainly like
trying.
to, but I don't know.
there we
if I
are.
There you
can.
are.
Hey! So, at hearing
You are frozen.
Kimura-
Oh, she froze again.
no.
No.
No, she's
We're good. We're
Yeah,
good.
it's back.
Okay. I think the internet had a hiccup. Sorry, y'all.
At hearing Mr. Dandleton identify Kimura, and Naruto's their eyes widen. You see the very cat-like massive dilation as it just becomes a pool of black. And they say, if there is such a creature near where these kobolds live, it would benefit all peoples here if we manage to remove it. And speaking from a business perspective, many of the pieces of such creatures are quite useful to local alchemists and mages. We may not be able to get much out of this, but removing it would do us a very, very solid step in improving our relations.
I concur. We should remove it if we can.
And what do we do about these imposters?
And their tooth.
Find them. If at all possible, recover whatever this dragon tooth is and return it to these rightful people who were supposed to have it. And make sure that these people understand that nobody gets away with impersonating guildsmen.
Understood.
What's the pay?
And Narutos thinks about it for a moment and says, I think I can arrange a few buyers for within the alchemical market here in Melopolis. It's not exactly much. Consider this more of a mercy mission, unfortunately, but I think I can arrange at least 200, maybe 250 gold per person if you manage to bring back the body of the Chimera intact.
That's
How
going to be a big
intact?
body.
That's a lot of books I could buy.
How intact? And Narutos thinks it over and says, so long as it doesn't look like it has been mutilated by a second larger Chimera, I imagine we should be able to get something out of it.
We can work with
At least try and keep the tail, the head, and the claws intact. All the heads.
Do you have a cart we can take with us?
I can arrange to have a wagon.
A wagon should suffice.
And that is when Naruto's addressed one of the kobolds and asks how far away their tribe is, and that is when you find out that their tribe is roughly about a week away.
Oh, my poor little feet.
Naruto places a hand on your shoulder and says, aren't you glad that you have the wagon now?
Oh, yes. But I don't like walking. Even short distances.
You should learn to fly, young one.
One day.
Mittens, you notice that Zora keeps staring at your tail.
Mittens will kind of look at Zurich and go, do you have a question?
Why is it so big?
I don't know. It's just how it is.
My guess is it's probably genetics.
I'm a cat folk. It's just what we do.
And thinking about that, Zurich nods and says, but you are not catfolk like that one, and points towards Naruto's, who is more leopard-based.
Nope. I'm a different one.
And Zurich looks between Nance and themselves and goes, like us?
I mean, are they...
I mean, yes,
Yeah.
right? Those are two kobolds, you are two catfolk.
Mm-hmm. It is quite similar.
Yeah.
It is also very similar to how Dragonborn and kobolds are similar.
Zurich begins to nod as if thinking of something to themselves, but is not keen on discussing what that might be. But with that said,
Nothing.
But with that said, Nance goes over the fact that Nance is apparently a priest amongst their people, and Zurich is a war leader, essentially someone in charge of keeping the tribe safe. Both of them, therefore, feel like they have greatly let down their tribe, that now they're in greater danger than they've ever been, and they don't have the dragon tooth, which is they keep impressing incredibly sacred and important to their people.
Could you elaborate on the dragon tooth and its cultural meaning to your people? I'm genuinely curious.
Nance explains that dragon tooth was used by a great hero long, long ago, a god. During during long ago, but not so long ago.
So 50 years.
God used dragon tooth gifted by Veloxil, by patron of God. There was other dragon, bad dragon, Osk Weave Eater, meant to eat God, meant to eat thing that made God God. But dragons could not fight, not allowed. So hero, God, Tefn, name is Tefn, took dragon tooth and used that instead to fight Weave Eater, managed to defeat, to seal away. Tefn came to Leafscale tribe, eventually became one with Leafscale tribe, eventually became one with land, left us dragon tooth, made sure that we would know to protect. Leafscale tribe has many, many, many years.
And what happened to Dragon Tooth?
Voyaging group stole, said that needed in order to fight Lion Beast. And sounded correct. Dragon Tooth defeated Weave Eater. Dragon Tooth should be able to defeat Lion Beast. But they took, and now they have, and we do not know where.
Well, it sounds like could be a couple of possibilities. One, they are imposters, and they just did this ruse to acquire your belongings. Or a group of foolish adventurers, imposters though they may be, found themselves in over the head, which is where we come along.
You will succeed where they don't?
Indeed. It is what we do.
Nance and Zurich confer very quickly in a mishmash of Draconic and Sylvan, almost like a pigeon language.
I speak Draconic, by the way. Just so
Also
you know.
Draconic.
Okay.
I was reading my books. You did the talking before.
So, and Mitten speaks Sylvan, and Mr. Dandleton, do you speak either Draconic or Sylvan?
Yeah, Sylvan.
Sylvan. Okay, so two of you understand Sylvan, the rest of you understand Draconic. Between that, you are able to piece together that essentially, while they are glad that you all seem to be forthcoming, they're also quite hesitant. The last time that they trusted the bigger people with assistance like this, things went terribly, terribly wrong. And all they have to go on right now is just your word that, yeah, we'll totally be better than the folks that fucked you over.
Now, listen, I understand that you do not trust us. We are larger than you. We have similar appearances to the people that betrayed you. But I think it would be worthwhile if maybe one or two of you came with us to oversee the operation. A little oversight goes a long way in trust.
Dance thinks about that for a moment and says, I will accompany.
Very well.
And as
And
far
if
as
you're-
a matter,
Go ahead.
as far as a matter of trust goes, do you believe in fate?
They sit up eagerly at that word, actually, and go, yes, fate, destiny. Veluxil guided these. Tefin guided these.
Temsey will hold up a coin and say, then let's leave it to fate, shall we? Heads or tails?
They look at each other and like think that's a really silly question because they both at the same time answered tails.
Tails. Flips a coin and didn't even have to cheat the toss. But Temsey would cheat the toss to make sure it lands tails.
Okay. Well, let's say Temsey didn't have to, but it actually did come up
Okay.
that way, and everyone saw it. And the kobolds nod to each other at that and look at each other, and then Nant speaks up and says, "You will swear then to return Dragontooth?"
Is
I'm
honor
not
honor.
using it. Go for it. It's all yours.
Then
We will take care of your beast.
Then, in name of the Prince Resplendent, we welcome you as friends of the Scout Tribe. We will guide you to our lands.
Wonderful. I've always liked a good road trip every now and then.
A road trip,
This'll be
again,
fun.
with 80 kobolds.
Do any of you like gambling?
Cutscene.
Unless Micah or Mittens had anything that they wanted to address in that scene.
Nope.
No? Mittens, are you good?
Do you like to gamble?
Do you feel
Happy to tag along.
Jack's better?
As we kind of like depart, I'm gonna like quietly ask Temsey if it was a double-sided coin.
Temsey will show it was not a double-sided coin. Sometimes you do just get lucky.
I have found that with you, it is not often luck, but wit and deception.
Then I need to try harder to make it look natural.
So,
Do it around me, and I will see.
you are all given enough supplies provided by the guild, since you all are good guild members and definitely pay your dues every single month. So this sort of stuff is just provided to you. You're given horses in order to winch up to the wagon in order to drag it out there. More than enough food and any other things you would need. Weaponry, ammunition, things of that nature. And with all that set up, the wagon departs Melopolis with a herd of kobolds surrounding it the entire way, marching you off into the distance as they essentially behave like what is akin to like puppies. They're very excitable. They're definitely very quickly startled. And as part of that, you notice they're very vocal. They constantly talk, they constantly bark, they constantly yip, they constantly chatter, they constantly sing. They really, really like singing. They frequently find themselves singing in Sylvan, however, and not Draconic as they normally would. And as you all are traveling, if the group would like, you can also make history checks about this story that they have told you about the Dragon Tooth, this Tefin god figure, and Veloxil and Osk Weave Eater that. Oh, I think we lost Leona entirely.
Oh no.
Yes. Let's see if she pops back on.
I'm still in my square. I feel fine. I feel safe. Mittens is back.
Yay!
I don't know what's going on. I'm so sorry.
It's all
No,
right.
you're totally good.
Just having a hiccup. Give me a second. Keep on going, and I will fix the camera.
I am proficient in history. I would be interested in this information.
Yes,
Yeah,
the
certainly. Go ahead and.
result of my roll was 23.
Oh boy, that's not a good roll though. I am distracted with my books. I rolled a total of a 9.
Total of a 9.
Even though I have +7. I rolled a 2.
Would either Mittens or Micah like to roll a history check here to learn more about this, or no?
Ah!
That was a noise.
So is that
Uh,
no?
That was I'm
That's-
thinking. Hold on.
That's a 2.
A 2.
High five.
Yeah.
And Micah got 18.
18. Okay. The kobolds are very interested in both Ratspear and Mittens. Ratspear because they think that Ratspear looks similar enough to them, but they keep on asking why you do not have horns or a tail. Mittens because they are just enamored with this. You have the tail, but you also look very, very different from them, and they're curious about this. For Mr. Dandleton and Micah, you two put your heads together, recalling some of the briefings that you got when you first arrived here in Melopolis, recalling some of the information that the guild has on the local culture, on the local history. Long story short, before the Fae were a big thing here in what you all call the Eastmarch, dragons ruled the day. Most of them are gone from this area. As far as anyone is concerned, the dragons have been dead in the Eastmarch for millennia at this point. But before that, the Fae revered them as gods. And many a time, a Fae would step up to basically become a champion of one of these dragons, essentially what you would all call like warlocks or clerics or things of that nature. They would form bonds with them. Osk Weave Eater was a dragon that comes up by many different names according to many different cultures. But the two of you were able to piece those different names together and realize that this was a dragon that literally survived off of devouring magic, off of devouring the Feywild, off of devouring the things that made the Fey even able to exist. It destroyed time, it destroyed fate. It was very, very powerful and very, very bad. In order to stop it, dragons had lots of different wards and pacts with each other, but they couldn't actually fight each other. So instead, a dragon empowered a Fey knight, Teffin the Prince Resplendent, in order to basically hunt this creature down and kill it, which he did so. However, most of the legends there don't really give you much more information. There is just the assumption that Teffin did something to seal Osk away so that it wouldn't be a threat. And beyond that, the dragons eventually died out. And without Osk as a threat, the Fae were then able to become the next major civilization in this area.
Fascinating.
With that said, the dragon's tooth, therefore, is more than likely not an actual dragon's tooth. It appears to be some type of extremely powerful magical weapon or something akin to that.
Well, everybody, I do believe that Micah and I have discerned the origin story behind this incident, and it is important to know that we're not looking for necessarily a literal dragon's tooth, but more a magical weapon named Dragon's Tooth that was wielded by a champion long ago.
Makes sense. So now
It
we have
does.
some
It does.
maybe adventurers running around with a really powerful magical sword, weapon, some kind. Maybe even a staff. Who knows? Ooh.
The staff is unlikely, I think.
We have heard of something like that happening, though.
I've heard of many stories of heroes and their fanciful weapons. Wonderful tales.
But I mean, wouldn't we have heard that there was someone running around with a really powerful weapon?
Well, if they just got it.
As far as you all know, in Melopolis, there were no stories or rumors of anyone running around with some ancient dragon-powered face weapon. That was not a rumor that you've been hearing throughout the chapter house or the city.
And with most stories and tales, many Weapons are revealed late into the stories, to be carried and lost for centuries. Could be
Okay.
one of these items.
And plus, they just got it. They probably haven't had much time to do a ton of damage yet. Give them time.
Remember that this all happened, the kobold said, about 2 to 3 weeks ago, and it took
Yeah.
them a week to get to you and a week to go
It's
back.
been a
So
month.
about a month.
Keep an eye out for scorched countryside. I don't know.
It likely won't be a hard trail to follow once we get close, that's for sure. An item of this magnitude would resonate magic.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
So, as you all continue in your travels with the kobolds, it takes several days as eventually you make your way far away from the coastline of Milopolis and begin a trek past the major amount of forestry that surrounds it. And eventually you break out into wide, rolling open plains, where here the Republic has not spread at all. It doesn't seem to want to settle too far away from the coast at this point. It wants everything somewhat in reach of Melopolis and river ships. Um, the plains themselves eventually give way into almost a kind of very rocky highland style of geography. It begins to get very mountainous. It begins to get very, very tall. You find yourself ascending for at least 2 days straight. Until eventually, near the top of one of the mountains, you come towards a very, very wide mountain pass that you are able to begin pulling the wagon through. The Nance and Zurich both explain that at this point, their home is only a few hours away, that this is kind of like the outskirts of their territory. You find yourselves moving through a very winding canyon that has a very wide riverbed that has gone mostly dry by this point. There's a little bit of water that trickles through it from melting snows that would be coming from the higher peaks. It is as you are finally rounding a nearby bed that your horses begin to get a little spooked, and the kobolds themselves start to get agitated. Um, Several of them begin to chirp and bark that they're near enough to their village, but nobody has come to greet them. They haven't seen any of their scouts. They haven't seen any of like their foragers that should have been in the nearby area.
What, how far are we from your village? You're muted.
Zurich explains at this point you are maybe about 15 to 20 minutes away. He puts it in kobold terms, but still close enough.
And none of your hunters or anything have come out to meet us.
No, if they are not here, then they must be at tribe, but they should not be at tribe. It is still midday.
And this is uncommon for your people.
Oh yes, land here is very difficult. Many times we must always be hunting for food and water.
We should probably proceed with caution.
As you try to proceed with caution, the horses again keep getting more and more startled. You see them whinnying a lot more. One of them begins to buck against their constraints, and eventually just stops. Like the other one keeps trying to go forward, and they won't.
Maybe we should go by foot the rest of the way.
Let me take a look. And Timsy's gonna go and try to like soothe the horses.
Anyone can use an animal handling check to try and get through to the horses to let them know it's okay.
Ratspear would like to
Yeah.
just look out and further down the woods and listen to see if he can pick up anything that the horses are picking up.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and give me a perception check?
It's going to be a 12.
12. Okay. And I think I saw both Micah and Temsy did animal handling here.
A 9.
A 9. Micah, what'd you get?
23.
23. How do you soothe this horse to get the horse to trust you enough to want to continue?
It's very like Buckbeak, Harry Potter, like Prisoner of Azkaban. She just kind of does the hand thing, like gets like to their level and is just like, I'm okay, like we are okay, you will be fine. And then like as the horse like kind of just goes thunk into her hand, she's just gonna like pet his snout, and then does the same with the others as well. And it's just like, we are okay. You will not get hurt. You will be fine.
It takes a bit, but you do manage to earn their trust again enough to agree between each other, apparently, in animal intelligence, that they can continue, and you, Micah, only Micah, nobody else, will keep them very safe. Rat Spear, with your 12, it's hard to make out, but you think maybe down the canyon you hear quite a bit of sound. There's a lot of echoing. There's a lot of reverberation throughout the stone. And you think you might detect growling, but not kobold growling.
I share this information with my friends. Seems there's some activity up ahead. We should be very, very cautious. But we should not delay, as their people could be in grave danger.
Temsy will actually just stop for a moment and start sniffing the air.
Okay.
Yeah, using someone else's senses at the moment. So, I don't know, would that be a perception?
I would say it's perception. You are
Okay.
trying to perceive a thing with your senses.
That is a 16.
16. Okay, slightly better. Your sense of smell that you're picking up is obviously kobold everywhere. But with the kobold is also something else, something much more musky, and you're also detecting a slight coppery tang in the air.
There's blood up ahead. Everyone get ready.
I was hoping it wouldn't come to this. All right. Shall we proceed then?
Probably. After you.
Ratspear
Is going. He is going to. He's going to cast mage armor on himself.
Okay, mage armor casted. Does anyone else do any prep before heading on?
No.
Okay. You proceed onwards. As the minutes tensely tick by, the kobolds getting more and more frightened and scared as they move forward. It's very clear that their senses are picking up on things that the rest of you are not. Eventually, Zurich stops and kind of like picks their head up, almost like a prairie dog, essentially, like just really, really intently staring, and their ears twitching all over until eventually clutching at their kopish and waving a small group of other kobolds ahead, and they take off sprinting through the final bend of the canyon.
There goes the element of surprise.
And
That's
as
a
they
decision.
do, that is when you hear reverberating through the stone is a deep, bow-quaking roar.
Oh, I think that's their lion creature.
Oh, wonderful.
They come where? They come out. How do you pronounce that?
Chimera.
Chimera, yes. Though it sounds different in the ether rather when you read it in the books. All right then. Shall we save these people?
I mean,
Let us
we're not
proceed.
gonna get a chimera otherwise. Let's go.
All right.
You're on agreement to charge?
We are going to advance.
You charge. As you round the corner of the canyon, you come barreling first into this kobold encampment, which appears to be mostly a very large outside area with lots of different tents and yurts and home structures set up around a very large center gathering area, and then like a cavern that has been cut into the cliffside itself, where it appears that most of them would live. The buildings outside are not enough to house even the 80 that you have with you. However, what you see is a group of very terrified kobolds desperately holding on at the mouth of that cave entrance, spears and shields and slings just throwing rocks as much as they possibly can at this very, very large, very, very angry chimera that is already rampaging through several of kobolds that it's already managed to attack. Several of their homesteads are already on fire. Many of their number are scattering towards you, trying to get out of the way of this creature that is just ripping them apart. And you all burst onto the scene, and even Zurich, when they and their little squad of kobolds comes up, they kind of stop and they turn to you all, and they very quickly take a step behind you and just form like a shield wall to try and stop the chimera from getting past them towards the caravan that you're coming in with.
Good call.
And I'd say that that's initiative.
All right, brace yourselves.
And I will ask you for it all in order that works for me. So when I call you out, just give me your full number. Temsy?
With a +3, I have a 4.
Nice. Ratspear.
A 12.
Carl Dandleton.
16.
Nice. Mittens.
9.
We're going
That
to
was a
assume that's
19?
9. Was it 19 or
9.
9?
9.
Oh,
9.
got it.
Yeah.
Sorry, did it freeze again?
Yeah.
It was.
Oh
little
god,
choppy.
it's doing it
Fair.
again.
It's all right. And Mike,
That is an 8.
Oh.
an 8.
Yep.
Cool. All right.
Ooh.
So then it is actually going to be Carl Dandleton at first.
All right.
Chimera on the rampage in the center of this kobold tribe. It is a very rocky, open area. Again, they have the trappings of their village on the outside. There's tents, there's yurts, there's like drying racks. There's lots of wooden and stone accoutrements everywhere. And this
And
thing is very big and very angry.
how far away is it?
We'll say that the Chimera at this point is 50 feet away.
Okay. So I am going to cast Mind Spike.
Okay.
And it needs to make a Wisdom saving throw.
A whiz save. Okay, let's give it. What's the DC?
15.
No, it fails. It fails horribly.
Okay. So I do 3d8 psychic damage to it.
Okay. Rolling bones.
2 8s and a 1, so 16, 17 points of psychic damage. And I always know the location of the target until the spell ends, but only while we're both on the same plane of existence. While I have this knowledge, the target can't become hidden from me, and if it's invisible, it gains no benefit from that condition against me.
Okay. Then if that's the case, you mind spike it, and it suddenly lurches and turns very quickly to stare at you, and it growls very deeply. You can already see its muzzle dripping with blood. As its wings, its eagle-like wings, begin to lift off its back, and they flap once, twice, kicking powerful winds and dust and sand up, and it launches itself into the air towards your group. It passes overhead, and as it does, its lion maw opens, and you see smoke begin to billow out first, and then leaping tongues of flame as it breath weapons the entire group of you. Everyone, please make dexterity saves.
Oh, this is not good.
That's not what
Probably not. Let's see. Who did not meet or beat a 15?
Oh, thank fuck.
Made it.
14.
Carl, you did beat it?
Yep, dirty 20.
Oh.
Okay.
Also dirty 20.
Also dirty 20. Micah?
16, so.
16.
15 exactly?
I got 16.
16. My apologies. All right, so everyone other than Rat Spear, 15 fire damage.
Ow.
As this thing sweeps over in a big arc and uses this weapon to just rain down flames. Rat Spear, 30 points of fire damage.
You out?
No, not yet, but very close.
Woo-hoo.
The next sneeze in my general direction will knock me on my keister.
That's not good. Then if that's the case, it lands down right in front of Mittens. And Mittens, what is your armor class?
18.
18. It's almost like it specifically chose someone who it thought would have the most fucking AC right now. Let's see. So it comes in at you with its horns, its goat-like horns on one side as it tries to ram into you, and it misses there and comes back instead with one of its massive lion paws instead, and uses a claw to swipe to where your armor and your shield cannot protect yourself. For that, you are going to take a whopping 6 points of slashing damage as it batters into you and tries to tear in. And at this point, it's in the midst of your group. It's like locked itself in the middle, and its tail is snapping back and forth. Its claws are going all over. It's trying to bite and ram. It's doing everything it can to basically maul everyone. And that is Rat Spear's turn.
Okay, I'm going to get as far away as I can and with my movement because I am burnt to a crisp. So I am going to move far away with my little feet, 30 feet.
Okay.
Away. 30 of my little greenish yellow feet away.
Yeah, we'll say that you're definitely not in the front line, so you're easily able to get away without it triggering a opportunity.
That sounds fantastic. Okay.
I thought so.
Now I'm going to cast a spell of my own,
Okay.
and I am going to cast Anzaman's Slow. And I'm going to cast slow upon this beast. It is a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw.
DC 15 Wisdom save. All right, let's see if it can make it. It got a 5 on the roll, so no, it doesn't.
This is very good. Okay, so what this now does is it... Oh, I'm on the wrong spell. That's the next one, if I don't die. Okay.
An affected target speed is halved, and it takes -2 penalty to AC and dexterity saving throws. It cannot use its reactions and can only use either its action or bonus action on its turn, not both. Regardless of the creature's abilities or magic items, it can't move more than one. It can't make more than one attack per its turn.
Holy shit. Yeah, you fucked this thing up.
All right. I am on fire at this point, so it is good. Good.
You are on fire, but at this point, it's all of you begin to notice as Ratspirit, what does your casting look like when you work your magic?
Yes, so I am kind of like a think.
I think of when Luke first saw Ben Kenobi on Tatooine. He looked like almost a sand people through the. So he's kind of like got like this, like the robes that go all the way to the floor, and he's got like the hood up. He casts, and he's very green and yellow tinted goblin, and he's got big bright yellow eyes with a little bit of bloodshot, and his eyes kind of like sheen over as this light blue energy kind of like just seeps out from his hands and kind of just entwines around, and it starts to spin around it, and it slows to like a very almost like an image of the hands of a clock are like ticking around him.
Nice. And as each of those seconds begins to slowly tick onwards, all of you can see the fury of this chimera also begins to slow with them. Its claws do not move as fast. Its tail begins to languidly lash, whereas before it was biting and snapping into the ground. Even its roar appears to be diluted and stretched on until it becomes this deep, sonorous sound. That brings us to Mittens.
Okay, I have two options. I can either help Ratsphere or I can zap the fuck out of this beast, and I think I'm gonna zap the fuck out of this beast first.
Considering Ratsphere is making it very easy for you to do so, it's probably a good idea.
Yeah. I would like to do call lightning. And I don't know how this works, so I'm reading that simultaneously. But apparently, a storm cloud appears in the shape of a cylinder that is 10 feet tall with a 60-foot radius centered on a point you can see within range directly above you, and then I have to like see the point from which the bolt of lightning flashes down.
Oh, yeah.
And wait, this is within all, like it's amongst all of us, the beast.
So right now, we'll say that it is in the midst of Micah, Mittens, and Temsey, and that Carl and Ratsphere were kind of in the back row, and therefore it can't actively get them.
Okay, do you think those folks are within 5 feet of that point?
Remember, within 5 feet of that point, you can always move the bolt of lightning to be within 5 feet of the Chimera and not any of you.
Ah, okay, so let's do
right
that then,
behind
please.
it, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so I'm just trying to figure out what I need to, if I need to roll or how this works.
So it makes a dexterity save, and then you're going to roll
okay.
3d10 lightning damage. Or I believe with your storm ability, if you would like instead, you can use your Tempest powers and just say, I don't fucking roll, it just does damage.
Oh.
Yeah, it's your
sure,
channel,
let's do that.
Your channel divinity there, I believe.
Let's
maxing it out. Yeah.
Let's channel some divinity and zap this thing. Yeah,
yes.
Let's do it. Why not?
Yeah, Destructive Wrath, it just deals max damage instead of rolling. So it would just be straight up 30. And let's see if it passes the dex save, which it now has a penalty to, thanks to Ratsphere.
Is it disadvantage
what is
or
your...
like a minus something?
-2.
-2. It's not disadvantage. It's just a straight up penalty. And Don can't roll for shit again tonight. Or I rolled a 4. So it just takes 30 straight fucking...
Oh, yes, very good.
Mittens, you're a storm cleric. Describe this for us. It's what does it look like when you channel the power of your god or goddess or deity or...
Yeah. So when they kind of look up at the sky and they kind of the they have their eyes closed, but they look up at the sky. Fuck me. Running right now. Internet, please come back. Am I good yet?
Yes, you're good.
Yeah, you're good enough.
Okay. And all of a sudden you see this big cloud appear in the sky that just zaps a bunch of lightning down.
And it is as if Zeus himself is grabbing these thunderbolts and throwing them down. You see the electricity ripple through the Chimera's body, leaving it jolting and twitching the entire time as it's trying to overcome this massive localized storm. And it simply cannot. It is quite injured as the storm cooks it. All of you get the wonderful smell of burnt fur just reeking from the creature now. But it's still technically intact, so that brings us to Micah. As thunderbolts rain down, what do you do?
She is actually, so the Chimera's 5 feet in front of me, right?
Yes.
She is going to. Never mind. It's not gonna work because it's multiple. She's just gonna whack, because that's apparently all I know how to play. So she
Not true, but
she has a glaive, and it's actually blunt on one end because that's, like I said, like she trains with a staff, so she uses that end a lot, more than she actually uses the pointy end. So she's actually gonna go and whack with the pointy end to try and just like hit him at least like on the side, because I figure at this point Micah's kind of just like and got off. And so she's off to the side of the Chimera and goes to just whack him like into his ribs. And because Polar Master that I am, when she does that, she's actually just gonna swing it around and hopefully slice through like the same spot that she hit. So it's kind of just like dent in the fur, and then like she can see it since apparently it's fricasseed. She can use that as like aim here, cut here, and stabs him there.
Okay.
So
remember too that you are high enough level where you have extra attacks, so you'll get 2 attacks and then your 3rd from the Polar Master. So
yes,
and you get a -2 on the AC.
Yes, the Chimera is very
that's
easy to
right.
hit right now, like ridiculously easy to hit right now.
You are going to butcher him.
Probably.
I'm trying not to. I'm just trying to stab him in the side. That's why I'm not going for major arms, limbs.
Cut the
appendages.
pieces off while you attack. It'd be much easier and very efficient.
Easier to carry.
So she does
Good, yes,
18
good
to
idea.
hit.
Yes. Well, why don't you go ahead and roll all 3 attacks, and then that way you'll know how much damage dice to
Okay,
roll.
so 18 for one, 13 for the second.
Thanks to Rat Spear, yes, you realize that its slowed down movements make it where a strike that it normally could have dodged, you managed to connect.
Bless. And 17 for
Yes.
the other one.
So all 3 hit.
Yay! Okay. And I am new to using glaives, so one moment. D10, D10, D10. There we go. Okay.
It's a D10. Sorry, it's a D10, D10, D4. The blunt end is a D4.
Okay.
But you still add your full damage modifier to it. So.
Yeah. So that is 6 for the first one.
Plus your mod.
7. So 7 for the first one, and then 10 for the second one.
Still plus your mod.
11 for that one.
Okay, and then the D4.
And then D4 is a 2.
Plus 1.
So 3.
3.
So 21 damage total as you just lay into this thing. And what does it look like as Weapon Master Micah here?
It's gonna look really quick. It's just a flurry of movement, really. So it's gonna look almost like you know how like drummers do that weird little like the flippy thing. That's
Yes.
kind of what it looks like. Is she just goes boom, flip, stab, flip, whack again. It's just like fucking die, stupid. graceful.
No, stop.
Yeah, like slightly a little more graceful, but like that's kind of what it's gonna like look
Okay.
like to everybody else.
Call odd or even and roll a d6.
Even. And a 4.
At one point, the glaive comes down extremely hard on one of the ram head's horns, which you were told to try and keep intact, but it skitters off of the bone and leaves a deep gash instead in the side of the chimera, which you don't really care about keeping intact at that point. So you almost damaged it, but managed to avoid it.
Be very careful with the precious pieces. It's going to devalue it for us.
Sorry. Got a little carried away there.
And then last but not least is Temzi. As the rest of your comrades step up to face this creature, what do you do?
How's it looking?
It's not looking great, to be honest. It is now bloodied. It is electrocuted. It is slowed. It has a headache from Carl, which technically would be like 3 headaches at that point. It's not great.
So Temzi will like put up their shield and just have their hand, and what looks like just viscous acid fires out of their hand as they cast an Eldritch Blast.
Ew.
That first one will be a 22.
Yes.
Second one for 15.
Both hit.
Okay, so that's D10 each. 8 out of 5. 13.
13 total?
Yes.
And what does it look like as you summon these tendrils of acid and venom?
So at this point, as they're firing off this magic, you notice like where their ears are kind of flares out a little bit, like a cobra hood. And it's like you hear this like hissing, and the acid, like what looks like acid, splashes on the creature, causing damage.
And do you have anything else with your action?
Yup. Because it's not down yet.
Nope. It's close, but it ain't down.
Get him, Julius.
Just waiting for this.
From behind everyone, over the kobolds, like blasts this streak of iridescent black scales that leaps up and latches itself into the side of the manticore, as y'all see a very medium-sized snake creature kind of appear almost out of nowhere. And they're going to make a bite. And that is a... let me get their stuff up. 17?
Yes.
Oh boy. All right, so... yeah, so let's start rolling damage. Sorry, this might take a second.
Yeah, remember you telling me it's a lot of dice.
A little bit. I actually can't see that. So 2, 4, 6, 7. All right. 7 plus 7, 14 plus 8. 22 points of damage.
Oh my fucking god, get out of here. How does it die?
So as the snake just lunges forward and like bites it in the jugular, you see and start to like wrap around the thing, but apparently it doesn't need to. As just from anyone that's close by, you can see the fangs just like dripping poison. And it looks like the mouth of a Gila monster, basically. Real gross and ew and ow. And then once it realizes it's dead, it just kind of unlatches and slithers over to Temsey.
And it drops. It stumbles a little bit as the venom continues to seep into its body, and eventually just thuds over onto its side, unmoving. The kobolds very, very cautiously are peeking like around you, through your legs. One of them climbs up on Mitten's shoulder and just kind of peeks over from there. And when they see that this creature is finally not moving, Zurich steps forward, bravest amongst the tribe, to go up and like very cautiously, scared, poke it with the spear twice just to make sure. And then immediately leaps atop of the lion head and like raises their spear up to the rest of the kobolds, lets out a hollering war cry in Sylvan and Draconic, and all the kobolds join in with it. And you see that at first they swarm around you, and it looks like they're prepared to pick you all up, and then
Don't touch me! Don't touch me! It hurts! It hurts! Don't touch me!
They immediately think better of it.
I'm still smoldering.
And instead, they simply raise weapons, they raise cheers, they raise songs to all of you for having defeated this creature and saved their tribe from this predator that has been preying upon them. And with one of their two problems defeated, I would say that that's probably a great time to take a break, as our heroes probably need a rest too, before we reconvene in about 10 minutes. So
it's like very bad sunburn. Don't touch me.
it's a little char. So before we head on over to break, we do always want to give a shout out to our amazing patrons. You folks are really what help keep this channel going. You are what allow us to continue in our mission to continue making sure that LGBTQ+ and BIMPOP players and creators have an amazing space to do what they do best. We definitely want to give a huge thanks to our patrons in the host with the most tier for helping make this channel possible. That is a huge amount of love and thanks to Jack C, Nerdy T, Michelle E, Abigator, and two of our newest patrons in this level, both Anino and Andy T. So thank you very, very much for joining us on this journey here at Welcome to the Party. As we head to break, why not head on over to roll20.net/start/WTTP and sign up for your free account today. Over 4 million people use Roll20's virtual tabletop to power their favorite games. And with modules galore in the marketplace, you will definitely find something for you and your group to enjoy. A storm over Eastmarch will be back in roughly 10 minutes. So until then, we will catch you all later.
See you.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. If you get a second during break, you should check out one of our amazing sponsors. We're now proudly sponsored by Roll20, the best virtual tabletop for all your role-playing needs. Over 4 million people use Roll20's virtual tabletop to power their favorite games. And with more modules than you can shake a stick at on their new revamped storefront, you'll definitely find something for your group to enjoy. Sign up today by clicking the link below or heading to roll20.net/start/WTTP. Tabletop Loot is an amazing place to get your dice bags, dice boxes, and more. And now you can get 15% off your purchase at tabletoploot.com by using the code WTTPDICE at checkout. Tabletop Loot. Your party starts here. While you're at it, check out our so awesome merch store, So Nerdware. So Nerdware is the place to find all your Welcome to the Party merch and other amazing stuff too. Head on over to sonerdware.com and use the code WELCOME at checkout to get 10% off your next purchase. So Nerdware. It's what the nerds wear. Denru, the amazing mistress of maps, has kindly supported the channel since the beginning and provides graphics for many of our streams. Head on over to ruinc.com to check out some of the best fantasy cartography on the web. Our Patreon supports the creators and producers of the channel by providing Roll20 subscriptions, cost coverage for video hosting, and more. If you want to support the channel while getting podcasts a week early, gaming articles that are published on Patreon first, a shout out during our break, and more, head on over to patreon.com/welcomepartyrpg and throw us a $1 or $5. And last, but certainly not least, help out the party. Subs and bits not only support the stream, but also every 500 bits or a Tier 1 sub gives a player or DM of your choice a reroll or system equivalent, and every 1000 bits or Tier 2 sub gives a player or DM of your choice a crit or system equivalent. Thanks again for hanging out with us today. The game will be back in just a few minutes.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
I don't know. It's weird.
Well, we just went back in. My bad. Surprise.
Oh my god!
Oh, we're here. Hello.
Surprise.
Yes.
Welcome to the party.
Surprise!
Oh, Smurf is running it. Okay, so I will play Carl Dandleton from here on out. I
You should
can't do
probably
the
get
voice
the
as
angsty
well.
British guy down.
Yeah, but I can't do the voice as well.
We are back.
I'm more Matt Smith, and I could pull off David Tennant anyway. Story. We're playing a fucking D&D game. So our players are just managed to defeat a chimera and have saved the kobolds of the Leaf Scale tribe from its terrible rage as it has been attacking and preying upon them for weeks. And within literally 6 seconds, they were able to defeat it. Oh, I love D&D rounds.
To be honest, it probably seemed like 12 when I slowed it down.
Yeah, probably. So with
from
that
the
said,
kobold's perspective, it was swipe, hurrah, boom, 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 fud.
We are very efficient at what we do.
With that said,
better than that.
We'll say that all of you at this point are able to get in a short rest. So if anyone has like, I don't know, arcane recovery,
Yes,
or
I
needs to maybe like
Heal.
use their hit dice to heal some hit
I'm
points.
going to have to use a lot of the dice.
Yeah, now might be a good time to actually do that. During your downtime as you rest, the kobolds actually do everything they can to make sure that you are provided with anything that you could possibly want. They bring you water, they bring you food, which for them is mostly mushrooms. They bring lots and lots of different mushrooms.
High in fiber and iron. Can't complain.
And alongside that, Nance and Zurich managed to provide all of you with a rather shiny, kind of metallic-looking 5. Wow, I can't think of the words.
Golden rings.
No, not 5 golden rings. Not 5 rings for the adventurers. Anyway, they provide you with very ornately shaped, stone carved and painted leaves with 3 prongs on them, 3 basically like leaflets. And they present these to all of you as basically saying that you have done an incredible service for the Leaf Scale tribe. Take these as a sign that whatever it is that the Voyagers Guild actually is, as long as your people have one of these on them when they come to our lands, we will know that they are friend, that they are our allies, and we will treat them accordingly.
That is very nice.
So now we just need to load the chimera onto the wagon and go find those other so-called adventurers.
And it's as you're discussing those other so-called adventurers that by this point it's passing into late afternoon up here. And all of you notice that the sky begins to very, very quickly darken. There's no clouds. There's no storm. The storm that Mittens pulled in order to wield the power of lightning dissipated quite a bit ago. And from a far off point out of the glens and fells that you find yourselves in, you see a brilliant flash of black and blue light, swirling energy beginning to rise above a distant tree line until eventually it reaches into the sky and then comes in a torrent right back down.
Can I like to look to see what is happening in this scenario.
Can I do an Arcana check?
You absolutely can.
Same, I guess.
All of the kobolds.
18.
Okay. All of the kobolds immediately are quavering and hiding behind the tallest members of the party. They clearly don't like whatever this is. 18, it's very clear that whatever is going on is a magical effect in nature. If you are able to kind of like tilt your head to the winds a little bit, you do detect with your goblin way of interacting with magic, the faint scent of what appears to be conjuration on the winds.
And I am a conjurer wizard as well too. So
So even better. You can definitely tell then that whatever that effect was, it is rippling across the sky as if a lightning storm, tearing through the ozone and leaving behind it clear marks that somebody is trying to summon or call something.
This is magic for sure, and conjuration magic at that. They are preparing to summon something. We should check it out as soon as possible. This could be far worse if we wait too much longer.
Oh, well, let us look into it. Or we could dispel it.
Nonce, could you have your people help load this creature onto the cart for us?
It is the absolute least that we can do. So, of course, we will do so.
It'd be very appreciated. Thank you.
Your sacrifice and blood is as appreciated as well.
It's mostly skin. It will heal.
If you say so. Nonsense is not so certain about that.
I'm only missing 1 hit point now. I used 4 of my hit dice.
Good call.
Yeah.
No, I think we should go check it out as soon as possible.
Let's get on then.
And so the party went?
We will head over to investigate this situation.
And so the party went. As you leave the Kobold tribe, you wake your way through the through the canyons where they make their home, and eventually are expelled back into the very rocky, craggy glens that make up the land surrounding their territory. As you travel, the sky continues to get darker and darker and darker. Mittens, with your connection to gods of sky and storm, can smell that something foul is upon the winds as you get closer. It's very, very clear that something is wrong with the magic in the area. And eventually it begins to affect Carl, Ratspear, and Temsey as well. That you can almost feel like some manner of your essence starting to seep from you, something being stolen as you move.
Fascinating. This feels like arcane energy being withdrawn from my person. Are you experiencing something similar, Ratspear?
Yes, it feels like my insides are being pulled from the outside.
All of our spellcasters, please make a saving throw based upon whatever your caster stat is.
Ew.
So
Using our spellcasting modifiers that we're doing.
Yes, using your spellcasting modifier, essentially.
And this is a spell or magical effect?
It is a spell or magical effect.
Cool.
Ooh, 28. No, I'm sorry.
Holy shit, wait, what?
26. 26. I rolled a 19. 26.
Even then, damn. Micah, Micah, you don't notice the same effect, but you can definitely tell that your comrades are affected with some type of lingering fatigue, something seeming to slow them, to draw from them energy that they don't have.
Yeah, 21.
21 and Mittens.
17.
What was that?
17.
17. So all of you thankfully succeed. But as you get closer and closer and closer, you can
Does it feel like it's trying to siphon from us?
It feels like it's trying to siphon from you. A failed save would have meant that you had lost a spell slot, as it's literally starting to suck the magic out of the area. Eventually, you are well within range to a rocky crag, an outcropping, jutting out of the normal landscape. I don't want to call it Pride Rock, but it essentially looks like Pride Rock.
It's a very angry looking crag, almost like an aggro crag.
From the top of the aggro crag, you certainly see that there are figures up there, and from there it appears that that's where these swirling dark magics continue to convalesce around.
I think that's our destination.
What's the plan?
We need to get close so we can see what's actually happening. And if there is some sort of ritual of sorts, we should probably try to intervene. I already feel it's drawing from us, siphoning, attempting to at least. This could not be good. I wonder if it's this article of has something to do with the dragon's tooth.
Yeah, because it ate magic. Oh, maybe they're trying to summon it.
Oh no, this is not good.
Yeah, let's just get up there and lay absolute waste to them.
Well,
It sounds needlessly aggressive, but at this point, I don't see an alternative.
at the bare minimum, we must stop this thing from happening.
Indeed.
And so the party went.
Yes, it is very quietly we should approach.
Why don't all of you give me stealth checks then? We'll make this a group check.
Oh
make this-
boy.
We'll make this a group check. As
Oh, shit.
long as 3 of you succeed, then the party succeeds.
Oh,
Well, holy
Wonderful.
fuck.
oh.
Immediately see Leona and Meg so excited. And nobody else excited. That's a bad sign.
Oh, I'm pretty excited.
I'm
Seriously,
Oh, you are?
excited.
This is
for
exciting.
having disadvantage, I'm thrilled.
It's not horrible. But
Okay, who got 16 or better? At least 4 of you. Okay, rest of your, what did you,
14.
first thing, all right, high enough.
Not horrible.
Not horrible. Not horrible, no, that's a solid 14 right there. So you are able to creep close enough up the very smooth stone surface without drawing too much attention to yourself. You see that there are like tendrils of rock essentially coming from outcroppings above you that you're able to stick to shadows and hide behind naturally formed pillars. And as you get near enough, you see a group of 4 humanoids, all converged around a sword. A sword that appears to be hovering between them at this point. It is very clearly of sylvan make. It is something very, very ancient, very, very old. You can see, even from this distance, that its pommel and its guard are of some type of bone-like material, but still appears to be gleaming white as if it was taken from some creature just today. The blade itself appears to be the source of these energies, and the 4 humanoids are chanting in Draconic, which I believe the majority of you speak. So
Yes.
Draconic folks are able to hear, there is a half-elf, a high-elf, a halfling, and a human. And in Draconic, they appear to be doing some type of religious ritual to get the sword to release the spirit within.
This is not good.
No. Anyone else good with area of effect?
Possibly me. I have no clue.
I was
It is
just
not
thinking.
my speciality, unfortunately.
Mr. Dandleton got a scroll earlier.
Well, I mean, I do. Well, I can cast that normally, but yes, I do. I do have the ability to bring some heat.
Oh, good. So
Which-
do I. So
You were not with us last time. None of you were. But the last time I went
what?
out. I went out
No. Oh.
with Wojciech. You it dawns on me that none of you were there. Yes. You see, I can cast Fireball, and I actually happened to have a scroll brought to me by one of our young scribes and retrievers. Couldn't get the books that I wanted, but a scroll is useful. So, I suppose I could give the scroll to Ratspear, assuming that he can read, and then from there we could.
Please do not insult my intelligence.
You are awake, excellent.
Like he's always surrounded by books.
I use them as pillows.
It's true. A book is a wonderful pillow. Very firm. So I propose I could give the scroll to Ratspear. He could cast from the scroll, and I could use my supreme intellect to cast the same spell, and it should be rather effectual.
We could do that, or we could, how you say, I could wash them off first, and then you could dry them off.
I could create a cloud of fog if we wanted to have the element of surprise.
Why don't you do
Can
that
hit
lightning
things.
thing again?
I can do that too.
I mean, if 3 fireballs, lightning, and stab anyone that's still standing?
I was thinking of washing them out. I could cast a tidal wave.
Fire, water, lightning. Ooh, lightning after the water. I like that a lot. What do y'all say?
God fucking bangs.
We could do that. Are they surrounding the sword, like ceremonially, kind of?
Yes, they're surrounding the sword ceremonially. Through the dark and everything, you can certainly see that at least one of them, the half elf, it looks like they have scales running up and down their arms. They have draconic style horns reaching up from their head as well. In the dark, it's hard to tell what color. Maybe like blue or black. It's hard.
Well, I think that at the end of this, they will be either covered in blood or in shackles. Yes?
Yup.
Okay. So,
And-
to get this plan off the ground, we are going to call this another initiative check, but all of you, thanks to your stealth scores, are going to have the element of surprise. I will give you an advantage on your initiative to see if you can beat them before they realize that you're here and doing bad shit.
We are
Okay.
here.
Okay.
So, plan is essentially just ambush the fuck out of them and end this fight.
Oh, God, yes.
Okay. I will call out your names, and you will give me your initiative score when I say your name.
Is Nance with us?
Yes, we'll say that Nance did agree that they would go along to supervise. So yes, Nance is with you, and kobolds are very, very good at being very, very sneaky. So definitely out of sight at this point.
And does Nance, are these the peoples?
Mm-hmm.
Nance nods and in very, very hushed whispers says, what are they doing to Dragontooth? They are hurting it.
They are trying to draw something out of it. This could be very dangerous. We need to
Not
stop
for
them.
long.
And Nance just nods and says that I will stay behind. I will try and grab Dragontooth if I see a chance.
Yes, it could be quite dangerous. I have a running theory that there is a being trapped within it.
And Nance at that point kind of puffs themselves up to their full kobold height and says, we were instructed to protect the tooth. I will carry that out. Danger or no.
You know what? Julius Squeezer could grab that, run it to you, and then you can run off with it.
Nance thinks about this and nods, saying, I am very good at running.
All right, then. Wonderful. Shall we begin?
I believe we shall. So, initiative scores starting from Carl Dandleton.
24.
Okay, Ratspear.
Dirty 20.
Mittens.
14.
Micah.
14.
14. Who would like to go first out of you two?
Let the mage go. I'll follow through.
Okay, and Temzi.
21.
21?
Yeah.
21.
Okay, so Mr. Dandleton, obviously, you get to go first here.
Excellent. I will start by casting with my Scroll of Fireball.
It's probably a good idea.
What level is it?
It's a third level. It's
Okay.
it's the basic.
I assumed as such.
It's a pretty good assumption.
So, dexterity saving throw is what is needed.
Yes, it's a dex save, and it is based off of your spell save DC. What is your spell save DC?
15, good sir.
15. Let's roll up some dex saves. 2, 3, 4.
Little boy.
15, you said?
15.
Okay. Math. Oh my god, damn it.
Somebody come get her.
So 3 actually do succeed. But 1 takes the full force of it.
Okay.
So what is the damage on that?
8d6.
8d6. So roll them and let's see what you get.
Oh, fuck.
28.
28. Woof. Okay, so 14 for those that managed to save.
Turn that off. We're going to get demonetized. Oh my god.
Someone clear.
He already stole that from Catman Con, so.
Mr. Dandleton, how does casting from a scroll look for a mage of your astuteness?
So he pulls out the scroll and begins to read. And as he reaches the climactic end of the scroll, lets it roll up on itself and uses it as a wand and lets the energy flow out of the scroll.
That's super cool. I actually really like that. Yeah. So as you do that, the scroll is pointed like the wand, and it immediately turns to cinder as you do so, the flame reaching up through the parchment, launching out into the middle of that group. And as the magic goes off, all of a sudden, the color returns very quickly to the sky, almost blindingly so by this point. As the ritual is stopped, it is broken. As the concentration between them all is ended with flame. One of them, you see, it is the human who appears to be in like bronze cuirass, has a huge amount of weaponry on their person, takes the brunt of the damage, like literally ripping clothing and scarves off and just tossing them off the cliff as they are singed and burned all around him. The other three managed to catch it. You see that the half elf pointed towards the magic at the very last possible moment, and the elf and the halfling and half elf managed to duck and scatter out of the way very, very quickly. In doing so, you notice that the high elf immediately reaches for a bow and a quiver, and the halfling gets up into a close quarters fighting pose, but appears to be completely barefisted. But that's one of you. Then Temsy gets to go.
Wait, that was 3 of them. What's the 4th one?
The 4th one I said was the one that the human that
Ton of
was
weapons.
in ton of weapons and like very heavy like bronze breastplate at that point. After throwing off everything that's burning, they managed to draw a very long blade as well as a hatchet in the other hand.
Got it. Then bow, monk, and what was the last one? I didn't hear what weapon they brought out or anything.
The half elf?
Yeah.
No weapon, but again appears to be covered in scales and has draconic style horns.
Got it. Okay, cool. Then yeah, fireball.
Fireball?
Yup. Dex save of 14 this time.
As you go to do the as you go to do the fireball, you see that the half elf immediately begins sticking out her hands and draws the flame out of your own hands and into hers. She uses counterspell. Does anyone have any options for that or no?
I'll counterspell the counterspell.
You counterspell the counterspell. Okay, so there's your reaction. What does it look like as you basically slap her hand away from stealing the spell?
I would actually like it to look like a hand that comes out and literally slaps away her hand. So she's like drawing the fire out, and I like flick my wrist with my wand, and it comes out, and this little hand just goes pop.
Okay, and sure enough, that happens and breaks the spell that was meant to protect them all. So now, more dex saves.
DC 14 this time.
DC 14 this time?
Yes.
Well, the half elf does not succeed. What's your damage, sir? Or what's your damage, Jack?
Let's see. 10, 15.
Yeah, 2 succeed and 2 fail.
$30.
Hot dog.
Very.
Hot diggity dog.
Yeah.
No, don't you.
Let's see. So you see the high elf with the bow as dodging out of the way of the fireball, what is left of it, you see that with a wave of their hand, most of the flame is deflected away from them instead, and the rest of it goes into their hand and into the arrow that they knock into their bow. They are using absorb elements to reduce the damage even further. You see that the half elf took the full brunt of it. The fighter took the full brunt of it.
Again, oh.
Yeah. 2 fireballs in a row and still standing though. Like, and then the halfling managed to dodge the absolute worst of it, thankfully.
And Julius is holding action for right now.
Julius is holding action for right now. Okay, so
not gonna get
then
in the middle of this. No, not yet.
Probably not a good idea. That brings us to Rat Spear.
Okay. I was thinking of putting out the fire, but I think I'm going to do something a little different. I am going to cast Malokai's magnificent web, and I extend my hands out and I cast web like a web, kind of like, looks like it just kind of like appears above them and drops down on top of them. It's got a 20-foot cube. How many would I be able to get with that?
I think you'd be able to get all of them, actually. They were standing quite close, and they haven't actually had the chance to move.
All right, so it kind of like just appears above their head, like cartoonish, and goes and just drops down on top of them. It is a DC 15 dexterity saving throw.
When they start their turn. Well, let me just get that out of the way and see who got constrained.
Oh.
Wow, these are weird rolls. So the half elf is fine. The high elf got restrained. The halfling is apparently dodging fucking everything, and the poor human fighter is once again affected.
So I got 2 of them then. Cool.
You got 2. You got 2 out of 4. 2 out of 4 appears to be the.
No, that's good. I'm happy
number.
with that. And they get what is it at the end? I think it's. I'll figure out the contention. I think it's.
Yeah, when they start their turn, they
Yeah.
get to, and then if they're restrained, they have to make a strength save to
Yep.
try and break it.
Yep.
As an
Against
action.
15.
So it straight up eats their action. Jesus.
Yep.
Fuck. Okay, cool. With that, the only one that's able to do anything at that is the halfling. So the halfling immediately leaps away from the web, is somewhat scorched and singed from double fireballs, but appears to still be somewhat okay. Who was leading? Who was like the closest to the front line?
I would be in the back.
Micah.
Yeah.
Why would it be
Okay,
Micah?
cool.
Wouldn't it be Carl?
Micah's towards the back because I told y'all to go first.
Right.
So it's one of y'all.
Wouldn't it be
Do
Carl?
you know what? I would say it would be Temsy in the front then. Temsy's the most armored up.
Really?
Yeah.
Mittens is rocking 18 AC.
Same though.
Fucking spellcasters.
Spend a female moderately armored. It's worth it.
It really is, though. So, with that said, the halfling rushes in very, very quickly, like far faster than a halfling should be able to move at that point. Gets right up in your face. And
So about that held action.
I figured. What happens?
At which point, Julius Squeezer just from over the shoulder of Temsy, because 10-foot reach. Let's see. So let's try a bite. Is a 15 gonna hit?
15 just misses, actually.
Oh no. Oh,
no,
second
indeed.
attack. Good. Yeah, but a 22 ain't gonna miss then.
What?
22.
No, a 22's not going to miss.
Cool. Let's start rolling some dice then. So that's 6 plus 7, 11. Oh, wait. Sorry, I realized I need to do math thing. 15 damage first, and then they need to make a con save for poison.
A con save. What's the DC?
Yes. 12. It's not that high. That's unfortunate, I guess.
That's a net one.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So what was I at?
So
11,
no.
12, 13, 14,
And
15, plus 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 8 plus...
and not at the
27
level
damage.
where this wouldn't be an issue. 27 damage.
Yeah. Is it still up?
No.
Okay.
No. They drop. They drop hard. So that's one.
Julius Squeezer just kind of slides away with the halfling.
Mittens after that horrifying imagery. I'm expecting a very round snake within about 2 rounds.
Not high enough level, sorry.
Yeah.
Let's gonna try.
You kind of see one of Mitten's ears kind of like quirk towards the snake and then quirk back, and you're just like, they're just like, nope, not dealing with this today.
Not even.
Not even
today,
going
Snaketon.
there. Not today.
Once.
It's fine. Like obviously they've gotten rid of a person, but at the same time, it's like nope. I think the plan was I was going to do another call lightning, and we're just gonna do it and do the cleric-y thing and just go for max damage and just screw it.
Oh.
Max damage.
Do the whole shebang.
Okay, give me one moment. It's a bunch of dexterity saves again, right?
Yep.
And let's see, that's straight up 30 damage.
Yep.
How close are they to us again? Are we to them?
At this point, we'll say they're about maybe 30, 40 feet. Like, you were able to get pretty close to with your sneaky sneaks.
You're gonna get advantage on all your melee attacks because they're restrained.
Yeah. That is absolutely true.
Oh, I can do the one thingy.
The what?
Nothing.
The fighter drops.
Maybe if y'all don't kill them all first.
Yeah, the half elf, not looking great at all. The high elf also just barely standing at this point. Like they were clearly not expecting fucking Voyager
Zap
Team
zaps.
6 to Yeah, no, it's
Zap,
lots of
zap,
zap
zap.
zaps.
Mega zap zap.
Oh.
Lots of zap zaps. As you do the zap zaps, Mittens, why don't you make me a perception check?
Ooh, okay.
Oh no.
Oh, so that is an 11 plus 6. So that is 17?
17. You're able to notice that between the torrent of just arcane fire and energy and everything that is starting to just pummel these essentially cultists, it finally catches your eyes with your lightning spell. That every single time something hits near them, a decent chunk of that energy begins to ripple through the ground and into the sword. And even the web spell itself around the area of the sword, it's starting to decay. And you see like the tendrils latching onto the blade and beginning to dissolve into it.
Oh, we have a problem. We have a problem. We are feeding it. We are feeding the sword every time we cast a spell. Look at it. Look at the web. Every time we cast a spell, we're feeding the sword.
This is not good at all.
No, it's not.
It is not,
Micah?
but it's Micah's turn.
Mike, go.
Micah's gonna run up and sweeping attack with her glaive.
Okay, what is you're a battle master, aren't you?
Oh.
Actually, no. Where'd it go?
I don't know.
Where to go?
Helpful, aren't you?
Is it all
No,
pull
I'm a
on fire?
champion, which gives
Always.
me two of those feats. So once I get my shit together,
You're oh wait, you crit on a 19, don't you?
maybe.
Mm. Don't like that.
Well, no, because I picked the martial adept, and so that gave me two of the defeats from Battle Master. So I picked sweeping attack because of course I did.
Nice.
Yeah. Because glaive, it makes sense.
It does.
So I go to, I think that means I have to roll twice, right? Or is it just one?
I believe it's just one, and then compared against both of their ACs.
Yeah.
You get advantage because they're restrained.
Mm.
Yes,
Cool.
you have advantage to hit.
Nat 20.
Of course. So, the way that I do crits at the very least is your first die is considered maxed, and then you roll for whatever the extra die is.
Nice.
Yes.
So,
that's
roll an extra d10, so it'd be 10 plus your mod plus whatever this roll is.
Oh,
9.
So, 20 damage total?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
what does sweeping attack do?
Okay, so sweeping attack, what's gonna happen is she actually ends up using, again, because she tends to favor the blunt side of her glaive, like she actually it looks like she's holding it wrong. But obviously she knows what she's doing, so she always does that to kind of like disarm, and then she goes for the kill. So she actually goes to just kind of sweep up and like whack one of them on the head. And then as that's happening and she comes back down, she sweeps back up to at least slice something off.
Yeah.
Or them in half, or, you know.
Yeah,
Murder.
it's if the original attack roll would hit the second creature, it takes damage equal to the number you roll on your superiority die. So you'd have to roll damage for your superiority die there, which I believe is a d6.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'cause
Marshall
you took,
at a
yeah, because you took it through the feet. So roll 1d6
For a 6.
for a 6.
Tabletop loot, y'all. Those dice are great.
If you needed proof, folks.
These have not let me down.
So, how do you take both of them out?
Basically the way that I said I did is she's gonna swing first and just kind of hope it like breaks their noses as she swings across. And as she steps forward again with the sharper side, she's just gonna kind of decapitate. She's like 5'8", so she's just gonna swing and slice and just kind of whack.
You cut down the high elf with ease. Not even a challenge for you, restrained as they are in the web. It's the only thing that stops them from tumbling off the side of the cliff as the web grabs them, even as most of their body goes over the edge. As you leave a deep gash across the neck of the half-elf, however, she manages to stay alive for a scant moment longer to take her hand trembling and touch it across the blood on her neck, and as she falls, she reaches out and she grabs the blade. All of you see nothing but darkness in an instant. And as it begins to fade and dissipate, these swirling clouds that begin to be blown away by unseen winds, instead of the sword that is now just clattered to the ground in front of all of you, resting on the edge of this cliff is a swirling mass of formless energy that slowly begins to stretch large, massive, leathery wings. And from its front, you can see its maw beginning to extend outwards, teeth larger than all of you coming down as it makes sharpened fangs. You see bone beginning to sprout out of the energy and wrap around, forming rib cages, forming spinal columns, forming a large tail. As you see that these people are slowly releasing the spirit of the dragon that had been sealed away in this blade. But it's not fully formed yet. It is not at full draconic power.
Nance is the one with us, right?
Nance is still with you.
Nance, this is your moment. Defend the Fang.
And terrified as though they are, Nance takes this moment to run up and try and grab the dragon's tooth, and clutches onto the blade very, very tightly, but immediately is shaking and backing up as this dragon continues to grow and form and form and form. And Nance falls to their knees in despair at realizing we failed. We failed to protect it. It's here. It will destroy everything in this land. What do you all do?
That's not good.
Counter spell?
Unfortunately, no, not counterspell at this point, as Nance, brave for a kobold, is still facing down an actual dragon-sized dragon, and grips the dragon's tooth very tightly, but otherwise is frozen in terror and doesn't know what to do. All of you immediately need to make wisdom saving throws.
What kind of an effect is it?
This is a fear effect.
Oh, excellent.
No, that's not good.
No?
Are you a scaredy cat?
Possibly. Oh my god.
All right.
Kitty!
Kitty! Perfect timing.
Roll some dice for me.
Oh,
Come
wow.
on, give me a
That
nat 20.
is perfect timing.
It's a black cat,
Or
just
not.
like Mittens.
Hey, Tetra.
Anyone lower than a 15? Micah?
I'm right on 15.
15 is good. Yeah, it's meter beat, so it's only Mittens.
Yep.
Deuce.
Mittens, the sight of this is far too much for you to bear at this point. It's despite the control that you wield over thunder and sky, this is something ancient. This is something powerful. This is something that existed before gods themselves existed. And you feel that fear begin to grip around you. You have the frightened condition, and at the start of each of your turns, you can make another wisdom saving throw to resist this. But in the meantime, that brings us back to Carl Dandleton up at the top, as this creature is here and the sword is in Nance's hands, but Nance is not able to use it. What do you do?
Well, this is quite unfortunate circumstance. I would like to spend my turn discerning a combat style that I believe would be effective in this situation, as I do not believe that casting magic on it is going to be good.
You think?
So I assume some sort of knowledge check.
I would say an Arcana check, because you're basically trying to determine what can I do magically and what can't I do magically.
So the natural 19 plus 7 is 26.
Damn. So yes, from the shadows of this skeleton that is forming, you can definitely tell it's pulling on your spells. It's pulling on the magical essence that is within inside you. You are absolutely certain that any harmful spell you cast at this thing would be a bad fucking idea for your survivability. With that said, however, you can see that it is taking physical form, but it doesn't have its full actual draconic physical form yet. Any type of physical damage that it takes would probably hurt it far more than normal, because it is not entirely in the prime material plane yet.
Okay.
So magic useless, physical attacks, probably very, very useful.
I will relay this information to the group, and I will let our little kobold friend know that if he can't use it, he needs to give it to somebody who can.
Okay. Nance at that point kind of like squeaks and literally throws the sword up in the air, and I'm gonna roll a d5.
He's throwing it to one of us. Great.
Yes. So let's see. Oh, Mittens.
Oh
Mittens.
my god. Really?
Really? And
Ah.
the sword sails through the air and it lands in your paws as you now hold onto the dragon's tooth.
Meow. Okay then.
Temzi, it's your turn though. Nance scurries out of the way. Nance at that point is like, I'm done. I've done what I'm supposed to do here.
Well, it was worth a try. Get him, Julius. Julius Squeezer
Okay.
lunges at kind of dragon. Goes for a bite. 20 total?
20 hits.
I don't like how you said that. Okay. It's what size of dragon is it?
Let's see. It is a huge dragon.
Well, that
it's a big boy.
I don't know the answer to that. While I figure that out, I'm going to roll some dice. And it needs to make that con save.
Is it poison?
Yes.
It's immune.
Okay.
It does not have to make any save.
Makes that easy. Is it immune to necrotic damage?
Yes, it is.
Oh, well, in that case.
Actually, no. I'm sorry. It is not immune. It has resistance to it, though.
Got it. Then it will take 8 rounded down to 4. I'll just do the rounded down numbers.
Thank you.
13 total damage.
What was the physical damage?
Piercing.
No, I'm saying what was the total physical damage?
Oh, 9.
That's 18.
Oh. Okay, so...
And then you said 4 for the necrotic on top of that?
Yes.
Because halved? Okay. So,
it cannot grapple it because it's bigger.
No, it's huge.
However, it can attack again.
It can.
Yep. That'll be for 21 this time.
That will hit.
Let's roll that beautiful bean footage. 6 rounded down necrotic to 3. And then that was 10 bite damage.
So 10 double is 20. Yeah. So holy shit. Julius Squeezer gets up in the dragon's face at that point and just begins to bite into bone, bite into muscle as it begins to form around said bone and begins to attack it. And you see that the dragon begins to flail and flick its claws and moves with this very slow, lumbering speed as it doesn't have the ability to really manipulate its body at this point. But it is very concerned with Julius Squeezer. It does not like being bit like that. That brings us to Rat Spear.
Okay.
And,
sorry.
And Temsy will cast Mirror Image on themselves.
Good call. You cast Mirror Image. There are many Temsies now. Sorry about that. And then Rat Spear.
Okay, so we are on this area. As I'm assuming there's some rocks and stones and stuff in the particular area.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I am going to do this thing that I have. I am going to take my arms and I'm going to go like this, and a rock is going to fling across as I cast Catapult at the 3rd level.
Oh shit!
And hit this thing with a big old rock beside his head.
Okay, I believe that's a spell attack roll, so go ahead and make that.
Actually, I believe it's a dexterity save. Yes.
It's a save.
Yeah, dexterity save, DC 15.
$14, motherfucker.
Yes, yes. And I'm going to use it because I'm such a little guy. I'm going to do the Furies of the Small as well.
Oh, nice.
What is that?
It's goblins get bonus damage based on their level, so I can use it once per long rest. So it's going to do another 6 damage afterwards, and this is going to be all bludgeoning damage, by the way.
Great.
All right, this is that is 16. Ooh, 16 and 13 is 29 plus 6, 25 damage, bludgeoning.
25 doubled.
Ooh, 50. So I just sling a rock. It goes flying across like a force, using the force.
The impact of the rock literally blows off chunks of that forming bone from one of its shoulders. You see it collapse suddenly as it tries to bring itself back up. Its tail pounds the ground in fury, but it can't actually speak yet. But but it's certainly very, very badly hurt from this spell. It did not like that.
No.
That was a good one.
Like
That was a good one. Fling
Wonderful.
rocks. Fling rocks.
Wonderful job, my little green friend.
Do
Thank
you
you.
do you do anything else with your spell at that point?
Yeah,
Or with your turn.
And I run.
Run!
A little
Running
bit
is
further back.
Running is probably good at that point because it is at that point that the dragon creature, injured and now angry, its maw resting on the ground, begins to puff itself up, and all of you can see swirling dark energies beginning to condense inside its half-formed rib cage, and then it opens its mouth and expels them all forward. Where everyone except for Ratspear then needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Gotta go.
What kind of damage is it?
It is necrotic damage.
Damn it.
You.
What was
Oh,
the
it's a
stat
spell?
save?
It's a Constitution save, and technically it would count as magic.
Thank fuck.
Thank fuck.
Same. Hopefully.
We'll see.
I'm screwed.
Are you?
Yeah. I got a 5 total.
Mittens,
total.
no!
Mittens.
This kitty is toast.
Well, it's not a fire spell, so.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay.
Okay. So Mittens takes the full 32 damage.
What's the DC?
The DC is 17.
Oh, bless
That
me.
So
Oh,
Oh, right, I need to roll 4.
I'm taking the full damage.
you're taking full 32.
Oh,
Okay, Micah, you passed, you said? Congratulations, you're the only one at that point that is like not completely fucked. You take 16.
well, because, yeah, I rolled a 21.
Nice.
So,
And then Temzi, it's 32 for you, but you have resistance, right?
For poison, not necrotic.
Oh, I thought Yanti have.
No, it's poison or poisoned condition, and it's an immunity. But
I
necrotic.
I thought they had a bonus against magic. just overall.
Yeah. Oh, it's advantage against them.
Oh, so even with advantage, no dice.
Got 16.
Sorry, buddy.
you said it was
Sorry.
16 damage for Micah, right?
16 damage for Micah. So then Temzi, 32.
So you see it wash over Temzi, and they don't look affected at all.
What did
However,
you do?
Julius Squeezer is very, very upset right now.
Oh, jeez.
Because let's see, that was
Oh.
32, and then Julius Squeezer had to make a saving throw and got an 18. So that was 16 damage.
16 damage.
Okay. 32.
But Julius Squeezer doesn't have that many hit points.
Hey,
Oh,
Don.
no, they do.
Yo.
You're gonna hate me for this, but I'm not good with maths, so that should have been 35 damage, not 25 damage. 16 and 13 plus 6 is not 25. That's 35.
So
So that's
70.
a total
So 30,
70.
70.
Total 70 bludgeoning damage. Sorry about that.
No, I appreciate you telling me that because that's really gonna fucking help them. Mr. Dandleton, are you still up?
Oh yeah, just a skosh.
Just a scotch. It smarts a little bit.
What to do? What to do? What to do?
Well, it's not your turn, unfortunately, but you can see
Yeah.
at this point that the creature continues to grow and form, only growing more powerful as it does so. Mittens, it's your turn. The dragon's tooth was thrown to you. You are holding the weapon that defeated this creature eons ago. What do?
I'm like barely alive. But having said that, here's my question. Can I cast spiritual weapon? Like,
It's a
or
bonus
is that? Yeah, it's a bonus action. But my question is like, is it going to be one of those magic things where it's gonna just help the dragon, or if I cast spiritual weapon and then make a melee attack, is that actually gonna work?
The spiritual weapon at that point would be doing magical damage, is the thing.
Okay, so maybe not.
Yeah.
Okay.
It may be force damage, but it's still from a magical source.
Okay, so maybe not. Let's do. Oh, that doesn't help me. That helps other people. Okay, never mind. I can't do that either. Yeah, no. Too late for all of that. Okay, that's fine. We're just gonna go at this dragon with a sword.
We're gonna go at the dragon with the sword. Okay.
Yep. Just run forward and might die in the process. I don't know what I'm rolling because I don't have a sword.
You don't have a sword. Okay, so what is your strength modifier?
+0.
Okay. What is your proficiency bonus?
Should be 3, right?
4.
Yeah.
Wait, proficiency bonus for what?
Well, because you're proficient, it's
Plus
it's
3.
yeah, it's technically a sword you know how to use. It's a martial weapon.
Okay, so then +3.
So it's 1d20 plus 3 plus 3.
Ooh.
1d20 plus 3. Okay.
So 1d20 plus 6 total.
Okay, so let me roll to hit.
Mm-hmm.
That is an 11 plus 0, I guess.
11 plus 6, so 17.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
11 plus 6, 17.
17. 17. Does that hit?
It just barely misses. Just barely. Do you have another attack? Do you have another ability or anything like that?
I mean, the only thing I can do is cast. What I could do is cast aid. If that counts.
Is that a bonus action?
No, it's not. Shit. Never mind. Sorry, I'm toast.
I'm sorry. It's okay.
Actually, wait. I lied. Mass healing word is a bonus action. I am going to cast that. Up
Probably
to 6
a good idea.
Yeah, up to 6 creatures of your choice. So that's basically everyone gets mass healing word. You regain 1d4 plus 3 hit points. So let me roll a d4. Please be good. 3 plus 3 hit points. Everyone getting 6 hit points.
How many?
So
6.
Sorry. Okay.
everyone's doing a little bit better.
As you're doing that, Micah is going to be like, Mittens, pass it, and just hold her hand out for the sword.
Yep. Here you go.
So free use an object. You both can do it.
And I think I'm after the cat, right?
If Mittens, you have nothing else to do with your turn.
There we go. Okay.
Nope, that's it.
Then yes, you at that point you swing, you miss, you rain down the healing light of your deity. It empowers everyone, and you toss the blade over to Micah. Micah catches it and
Quack. It's just gonna be very murder scene and just double hands, just murder the fuck out of it. Hopefully. For a math. Yes. Okay. 17.
17 does not hit. What are you adding to that roll?
Nothing. I just for some reason was trying to add things and I realized it was just a roll to hit.
Okay. What was your roll?
17.
All right. 17 plus the modifiers will hit.
Okay. Cool. Yay.
Yay, indeed. You don't roll. The blade just does the max amount of damage as soon as it comes into contact with this creature. As the sword connects, you see some of the shadowy energy that is forming it immediately go back into the blade. A large chunk of its flank just disappears and it falls over onto its side, barely able to hold itself up. You have an extra attack.
She's gonna swing again.
Make the attack roll.
Or not so much swing, actually, as she does that, it's slice and then pull back and just try to stab. For a 19.
Also hits.
I am so sorry.
Why are you sorry?
Because my internet keeps dying, apparently.
Oh, no, you're here. You're good. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah. Micah,
Yes.
for the briefest moment as you connect on your last swing, the rest of the party does not really see Micah connect with the blade. Of replacing Micah is a almost magical effect, a shimmering illusion around her, where she looks instead as if a very resplendent Fey knight in full armor and regalia, as she strikes at this creature, blade passing across its neck. And in doing so, all of a sudden, the head is lopped off. Whatever it was that could be formed from it just dissipates. And Micah, you struggle to hold on to the dragon's tooth as the rest of this massive, huge creature begins to surge into the blade. And you're gripping it as tight as you possibly can. It's like threatening to push you off of the cliff. And indeed, you feel yourself stumbling. You can't hold on to it very much. And your teeth.
Uh-oh.
Jack muted all of us.
Oh, sorry.
Good job, Jack.
We're good?
Sorry.
We're good.
We're good. Okay.
Their mouse died, so they're trying to keyboard command everything.
You're right. So Micah is about to fall off the edge of the cliff, like as she's absorbing literally all of the spirit of Osk, the Weave Eater. What does the party do?
Boy.
Good question.
She's gonna go off the edge any second now. It's a long way to the bottom.
I am very far
And I'm
away.
only human.
After all.
Like, scrabble to try and grab.
Oh. Hey,
I
you
will
know
fly.
who could do a grapple?
I could
That's
web her.
right there. Julius Squeezer's right there. Grapple and pull away.
Okay, so why don't we get an acrobatics check from Mittens? We'll give advantage for a web spell from Rat Spear, and then we'll have Julius Squeezer make it's an athletics check for them to grab.
Think so, yeah.
Make an athletics check to seal it as grabbing Mittens before they also go over the edge with the save.
Regular, no advantage, right?
No advantage for you. It's the web spell is helping save Micah.
Cool.
So Mittens, with your advantage, what's your full acrobatics?
Oh, I have advantage? Wait.
Yes,
I
you
need
have
to roll a
advantage.
second dice. I need
Because-
to roll a second die.
Because Ratspear conjures another web in order to help grab Micah before she goes over.
This one's gonna be more like a Spider-Man, like.
Ooh. I rolled the exact same number, so it's 14 regardless.
It's 14 regardless. You latch on to Micah and are desperately holding on, but you feel both of yourselves starting to teeter. You're digging in your claws into the rock to try and keep yourself solid. And then Julius Squeezer,
With a 21.
with a 21, literally coils the entire length of their snake body around one of the nearby pillars and very carefully bites into Mitten's ankle just to hold on for a grip before wrapping tightly around and pulling. And both Micah and Mittens tumble to the ground. The sword is released from Micah's grasp, skitters to a stop. Right in front of Carl Dandleton, who can see inside of it now. It is radiating with the energy of Osk inside it, barely containing it. You can see these swirling dark forces pounding against the steel from the inside until eventually the sword begins to quiet. And then eventually it stops glowing.
Fighter for the win.
Could I Arcana check that to make sure it's docile at this point?
Sure. Why don't we let Carl get the check first, though?
Oh, I'm
as
sorry.
It's at their feet.
Yeah, gotcha.
Or it's at his feet.
13 plus 7 is a dirty 20 for Arcana.
You're a
Arcana.
dirty 20.
You check over the sword, and you realize that some type of massively powerful magical containment must have occurred within the few seconds in between Micah cutting the head off of the ghost dragon and the blade being inert like this. But it looks, at the very least, like the sword is safe. Do you touch it at all?
I will pull out a handkerchief, and I will use that to pick it up. So not touching it directly, but like archaeologist style.
Very good idea. When you do so, you notice that the entirety of the blade, from pommel through hilt all the way up to the very point, is cold, frigid cold. Like to the point where if it wasn't for the handkerchief, you would imagine you almost would have burned your hand from frost from touching this thing.
Oh, this is very strong magic here. Quite.
Is it safe at this point, Carl?
Yeah. Yes, my good friend. Yes, quite safe. Well, until somebody tries to summon it out again, I imagine.
Yes, let's not let that happen.
Yes, that cannot happen.
So, with that said, it's nearly 11 o'clock, so we're going to speed up a couple things. Nance recovers the blade from all of you, and at that point is basically like, once the sword begins to warm a little bit, tucks it to their chest the entire way back to their tribe. When they return with it, all of you, of course, heralded as absolute heroes, all of you are given the honorary title of Princes Resplendent for mimicking what had happened eons ago when the Fey Knight Teffin first did battle with Osk Weave Eater. The tribe basically sees you all as if you were not kobolds before, you are definitely kobolds now, the bravest of kobolds that they have ever met. The journey back to Milopolis is still a week. It is long, but at this point, you all can rest easy knowing that a very dangerous force in the Eastmarch was put to rest. The Chimera is magically preserved through the efforts of Carl and Ratspear in the back, so that way it doesn't begin to be unpleasant after a week of traveling through the countryside on a wagon. When you get back to the chapter house, Enardos is basically over the moon with the report that you all give, realizing that not only did you manage to recover what he had sent you out for originally, but you also managed to basically save the Eastmarch from sheer destruction, both the people already living here and the Republican colonies. So with that, your reward is jumped up from a measly 250 gold apiece to 1,000 gold apiece. Funds are pulled in from the local merchant houses and baron to make sure that you are amply rewarded. And from here on out, the Leaf Scale Tribe and the Voyagers Guild, not the Voyaging Group, enter into a personal relationship to make sure that this artifact, while it remains in the hands of the tribe, will always be looked for and cared for by members of the Voyagers Guild who assist in making sure that this very dangerous yet sacred item is warded from here until the end of eras. And with that, that's the end of our session. You defeated an ancient time magic eating dragon and saved the Eastmarch.
All in a day's work for the Adventurers Guild here.
So,
Not the bad
that's
game,
our one shot. Thank you, everybody who happened to come in and join us here for this. We're going to go ahead and give our brave heroes here their outros. I will go ahead and call you out by name. Go ahead and tell us who you are, what you thought of the session here, and where else we can find you online and off, if you so choose. I don't know your life. So I am going to go in the same order as I did in the beginning. So we are going to go ahead and start with Capjack.
Hey everybody, I am Capjack, or at Captain J Cross on the Twitters, and oh my god, this was so much fun! I got to bring out a homebrewed class that, oh god, might be slightly overpowered. We'll look at that later. Good lord, I didn't even use all the really cool stuff. But yeah, that was a blast. I had so much fun. I always love playing with all of you, and Don, I love this setting you've put together in the Eastmarches. It's really enjoyable. But as far as places you can find me, of course, here on Friday nights with our currently F and Eastmarches for another 2 weeks, and then we'll be back to A Storm of 4, as well as coming up for the new season of side quests on May the 4th. I will be in the wonderful Jago's game of Hyperdrive as, I guess I can tell everyone, a Deveronian cartel hitman. So that'll be interesting to see.
Oh, you big thick lad.
You know it. And then on May the 11th, the following week, I will be running another game on side quests called For the Queen, where we are all Pad Maidens, and we are trying to save Queen Amidala from certain doom and destruction. And oh, it's going to be hilarious, y'all. I can't wait. So yeah, come and see all that. And of course, we have our new to the party games. We have Hyperdrive, which will be going from new to the party over to welcome to the party starting in the new season. But there's a couple more episodes left, so come by and see them. And then on Monday nights with our ESL game of Linguamasia, which is going to be wrapping soon. So yeah, and then we have some more things coming up soon that we'll be announcing, so keep an ear out for those. And I talked a lot. Oh god. Woo! Go, somebody else, please.
We will head on next to Leona.
Hi, my name is Neelam, but you can call me Leona. You can find me on Twitter at the Leona Maple. You can also find me in the Discord, where I am a mod. I am in this game, and I think that's about all I'm doing at the moment. But you can also support us on Saturday nights. I am the head producer of Vibrant Visible Victorious, which runs at the moment at 8:30 p.m. EST. So please come on up tomorrow and enjoy the show. We're playing Squirrel Friends. And yeah, that'll be moving into an earlier time slot after May the 4th. So definitely come and check us out in the afternoons from there on out. Yeah, I'm also an intersectionality consultant. Hire me to do your sensitivity reading or whatever else you need help with. I'm happy to help. But feel free to check out my Twitter for more information about that. And that's me.
Any thoughts on the game tonight, if you want to give?
Ooh, yeah, I had a lot of fun. I think that was just epic all around, and this was such a great group of characters, and it was just fun. It was a good combo. I loved it.
I'm glad. Smurf.
Hey everybody, you can find me on the internet at DSC_Smurf. I exist there and on a lot of different D&D streaming channels, such as this one, Dumpstat Charisma and Soulbear RPG. Follow me on Twitter if you want to know when I'm going live. Tonight's session was an absolute blast. I like playing Carl a lot more than I thought I would like playing a caster. He's pretty dope. He's pretty uppity, which fits me. And I can't help it but ignore my cat. Look how adorable he is. Look at him.
So cute.
On the bed.
He's all curled up.
So cute.
His name is Boonty. He's sleeping.
Aww.
Anyway, that's it.
Judo.
What's up, everybody? The Chris Herzog and on social media. Judo Killer here on Twitch. Yeah, Don, great game today. It was a lot of fun. Timing was perfect. I love the silliness of the different types of characters. It was a great combination for the game today. For those of you that don't know, I am a jiu-jitsu and MMA instructor by trade. Been closed for a long time now, but I do have an interactive website if you're interested in that type of thing. You can check it out. It is www.zogopedia.com. It is a membership-based instructional website. Check it out.
And last but certainly not least, Meg.
Hi, what's up? I am Meg. You can find me pretty much just moderating the server, rambling about Animal Crossing currently. That's apparently all I do with my life. I loved tonight's game. Damn y'all in chat. The Chris Herzog. It's been a
Somebody
blast.
stole it. Somebody stole it before I even got out there. I had to put the V on there.
I'm having a blast playing all of these different characters. Micah was supposed to be Eloisa from our Blood and Shackles game, and then I went, nah. So that happened. I kept her stats and changed almost everything else, and that was that. She was a lot of fun to play. She's a different form of fighter. I usually play sweepy, swipey fighters, I guess, if that makes any sense. I usually play like rapiers or short swords or just fancy, and this was I'm going to whack. So getting to play with a new weapon was different, and I liked it. So yeah, I had fun. I'm loving the one shots and getting to play with all of these different characters and play styles. It's fun. So yeah.
I'm glad. And I have been your GM for the evening. I am Don. I am Jago. I am many names. You can come and find me here for at least, I think, 1 more week. 2 more weeks?
You're right.
2 more weeks. 2 more weeks where instead of a storm of 4, I will be running this continuous series of one-shots, a storm over Eastmarch instead, for next Friday and the Friday after, which will be May the 8th. If you want to come and see me run my own campaign instead of just a bunch of one-shots, I run new to the party's Hyperdrive, the First Ember, which is a Star Wars game that has been going on for like 12 episodes now. I think it's a lot of Star Wars. It's a blast. It's action-packed. It's very dramatic. It's very intense. There's a lot of laughs. It's a really, really good game. I'm not just saying that because I run it. But I am kind of saying that because I run it, and you should all come and check it out. As Jack said, which I have been keeping kind of a fucking secret, but I guess we're just blowing that. No,
shit,
no,
my
no.
bad.
I'm happy with it.
No, it's well.
Yeah,
Oops.
Hyperdrive, starting in the new season of New to the Party, will be moving to Welcome to the Party instead. We will be here Thursdays, running at 9 p.m. Eastern. So come and check us out for some great Star Wars action if you want to get caught up on it. Our VOD is back on New to the Party. As also said, Side Quests, which is Welcome to the Party's one-shot series. We'll be running on Mondays, starting back up again on Monday the 4th. We're on a brief hiatus in between seasons here. And we have all collectively decided that May is essentially Star Wars month for one-shot. So come and check us out every single Monday evening where we're going to be running Hyperdrive, we're running For the Queen, we're running Fantasy Flight games, Star Wars RPG, and we're running Lasers and Feelings as a Star Wars hack. So every single Monday evening, come in to the galaxy far, far away. Come and check us out. I don't think I'm involved in anything else, and I feel like I'm involved in a lot of shit to begin with. With that said, as always, this is a blast to run. I'm having a lot of fun with these little one-shots. I'm having fun that every single week my players are coming to me with, like, I want this ridiculous character now. If you didn't see our last one, we had a bear last time. We had a legitimate bear. Wozniak. We had
and a panther.
And a panther, and like if you like animals, like last Friday, that's your VOD that you need to check out.
This week is reptiles, dragons, and snakes, and yeah. I went to check for that. Wait a minute. Hold.
Yes. I believe that we are done for the evening here on Welcome to the Party. Can someone tell me who we're rating? Because
Dice Priori.
Dice Priori.
Dice Priori. We love those folks. So we're going to go ahead and give all of this wonderful love over to Dice Priori. And as we get settled in to do that, remember, come and check us out here on Fridays for a storm over Eastmarch for the next 2 weeks. All of the wonderful projects that all these people are doing. Thank you to everyone who came in, and we saw a lot of subs tonight. I was running the game. I'm very busy with that, but we love every single one of you for doing so. It means a huge amount to us. Come and join us on the Discord. We're all there. We're all very chatty. You can play a whole bunch of fucking games with us. We do more than just the games on the stream, and come and help us out on Patreon, especially during these times. It helps us continue this project. It helps us grow and helps us have even better shows. So that's it. I don't have anything more to say. Just fucking come join Welcome to the Party and come play games and take care of yourselves and love yourselves. And we will go join Dice Priori in just a moment.
I'm gonna go love myself.
So no es de Dios, you nasty.
All right, and with that, bye. Okay, it's doing the right thing.
Oh my friggin' god.
That was so much